Welcome to Saturday Night Roasting, a product of the Roadrunner Swirl to Investment Network. Hope you enjoy. Let's get to the roasting.
Girl, I like a little vanilla in my life, and I might one day be a white dude's wife. That's alright. Yeah, I got a type. Some people don't like it, but the swirl is the hype.
All right, welcome to tonight's Saturday Night Roast. Okay, if you see the title tonight, I want to welcome one of the Beta Kings in the building, Seth Myers. Give him a round of applause. He decided to come support me, and look, a lot of my support on this channel isn't just people that love me that think I'm doing a good thing, but it's the hate supporters or the envy supporters are the ones that idolize me. The Beta Kings, okay, the Beta King fanboys, I call them. Look, they watch me all the time. They comment all the time. I got a treasure trove of comments tonight, and I'm going to go into this, and we're going to do a little roasting, okay? And look, anything you put on my channel, I'm going to use if I want to, okay? But and I want to talk about something else, and I'm going to have like a guest that I'm roasting. He's not a fanboy yet, but probably will be later on. But yeah, and then I'm going to do talk about the Little Mermaid too, right? One of the big time Beta Kings is upset about the Little Mermaid. Okay. And we'll go into that. And I'll give you my little movie review. Yes, I did see the Little Mermaid. I took my daughter and granddaughter, and they wanted to see it. But you know, I'll go into that. But tonight is a special night. It's for the Beta King fanboys. Beta King fanboys, thank you for your support. Thank you for getting my views up. Thank you for putting money in my pocket, Beta King fanboys, so I can share that with the lovely, beautiful black women in my panel. And I do. People think I'm getting a bag from this. Well, as soon as I get the bag, I empty it out and I show support to other content creators that I follow, and probably 98% are black women, and I show them love, and some don't even know who I am, but I just show support. That's just how I am. I believe in sharing the blessing, right? Um, but thank you, Beta Kings, and Beta King fanboys. Thank you so much for when you watch my channel more, you hit the algorithm. My voice carries to other people, and it helps promote the interracial dating and marriage, the swirl to investment. It helps me get the message across. It helps me show that there are white men and other non-black men that love black or that love black women. Okay, I'm a white man. I love black women. Okay, exclusively. And look, I love all women. When I say exclusively, black women are my preference, and I'm going to tell you why. Later on in the show, I'm going to share some stories with you. Okay, and this is real life, and you'll understand why I feel the way I do about black women and why I'm married to a black woman. And look, our marriages, black women, white men, it's soaring. We lead the way. We are that power couple. Yes, we're going to change the world. And look, but let me show you some comments I get, right? All right. I got a bunch of them. Okay. I tried to put them like in I don't know, like a slide platform to where you could see it, to where I could blow it up to where you can read it on the screen. And I'm just going to go randomly. There's no certain order, but I want to talk about these comments I got. I get a treasure trove of love from the Beta King fanboys. They love me. They idolize me. They act like they hate me, but they actually think I'm awesome. And a lot of them, I think, want to be me. But anyway, okay. Let me add this here. Let's talk about this. Okay. This here. All right. And this is from user SQ6XQ2CQ5B, whatever the hell that means. But I'm making you Roadrunner famous tonight, Beta King fanboy. It says, at Roadrunner, I always knew white men, black women, and interracial relationships is crazy. You all aren't dictators, fool. No, we're not dictators, but we are leaders. We're not dictators, but we do lead the way. We're not dictators, but our marriages last the longest. No, Beta King, we're not dictators, but we set the standard. You know what I'm saying? Black women, white men, we run this thing. When it comes to dating and marriage, we are first class and we're leading the way. We're the most successful, whether you like it or not. It is a fact. Okay? We're not trying to be dictators. We're trying to spread love and let black women, white men know who the best option is. Okay? For white men, black women is the best option. It is what it is. For black women, white men are the best option. I'm just saying statistically, okay? Some people want to hate me for saying that. I don't care. The truth is the truth. Okay? But we're not dictators. But we do dominate. We're dominators. Let's put it that way. We dominate. When it comes to love and marriage, we dominate. When it comes to the corporate world, we dominate. Okay? We are the most successful. You can call it white supremacy, privilege, whatever. I don't care. The truth is the truth. And look, white men are more successful with black women than white women. So it ain't racism there. That don't make sense. But anyway, you want to throw away your blessing? You want to kick black women to the curb? Okay, we'll sweep them up, we'll marry them up, and we'll live that blessing. We understand the value of a black woman when you don't. So, you can take your little comment and go cry somewhere. Okay? Anyway, let me remove that. All right, here's another one. Okay. All right, this is Ed Shaw Graphics. Okay. Welcome, Ed Shaw Graphics. He says 92% of black men are 92% of black married men are married to black women. Okay, he said married black men. Okay, I'm glad he said that because they'll try to say 92%. Actually, it's 85%. Okay, it's getting less and less. But okay, we'll go with that. I think this is from a dating stat or whatever. Okay, so 92%, I'll give them that of 30%. Okay. What is that? Maybe 25, 26%? Okay. 96% of black women are married to black men. No, not 96%. 96% of the married black women are married to black men. Okay, so it's not that high. 27% of black women are married, so we'll give him his 96%. It's actually 92, by the way. So yeah, maybe 26, 27%. Okay. But the marriage rates are the worst in any community of any ethnic group. Sorry. 6% of black men marry outside their race. 4% of black women married outside their race. Actually, that's the 4% married to white men, and that's black demographics that slants in the pro-black favor. So these stats are a bit off, but okay, we'll go with that. Um, black men do date and marry outside the race more than black women. Okay. Why? It's beyond me. I don't understand. I think black women need to date and marry out more often. 4% of black women marry outside the black race. The percentage of black women marrying white men is super small. Uh, most people are race loyal when it comes to marriage. Okay. But you say that it's super small, right? But it's growing every day. It's grown like 400 to 500% since the Loving versus Virginia decision in the Supreme Court. So it's getting bigger all the time. Did you know less than 1% are serving in our U.S. Armed Forces? Less than 1%. So more black women are marrying white men than people are serving in the military. Let that sink in. So the numbers are bigger than what he makes it, you know, out to be. But, good try. I mean, he's close on the data, a little off, but, when you read into it, it's happening more often than what it looks like. So, anyway, I'll give him an E for effort. The stats are a bit off. 92% of black men married to black women. We know that's a lie. It's actually 85% of 30%. Okay. So that's like 24%, Black women married to black men is 25%. The black community has the lowest marriage rate of any community, period, in the story. Okay. And I don't say that boastfully or happy. The truth is the truth. Okay. And this is why black women need to open up their options if you want to be married. If you don't, you want to be, a fiance the rest of your life and, have children with a man that don't want to get married, that's up to you. But anyway, okay, now I'm not done with I got more and more stuff, guys. Let's put this one up. Okay. And I want to thank you, Beta King fanboys, for your support. Without you, my channel wouldn't be as big as it is. So thank you so much. Okay. Here, okay, this is user SQ6X. This guy's triggered. This is one of my Beta King fanboys. He says, stop listening to black women. They are vulnerable because you see them in social media arguing back and forth with black men. Okay, well, why are they vulnerable? Why are they arguing back and forth with black men? Okay? Why are they doing this? It's because black men do not understand the true blessing that they have in the black woman. They don't understand the true beauty of a black woman. They don't know how to love a black woman. Okay? And Beta Kings, if you want to know how to love black women, how to respect them and understand the blessing they bring, email me. I'll help you out. I'll try, okay? They are a blessing from God. Black women are the most beautiful, most successful, women on this planet, and you have them in your community, and you're throwing away a blessing you have. But if you want to do that, there are men like me that'll swoop up, marry up these beautiful, successful black women, and live our best life. Okay? But like I said, why are they vulnerable? Black women are vulnerable because they're taken advantage of. They're exploited, and mostly by black men. Let's be honest. Most women that are unalived are from black men, okay? And you say, well, there's white men that do it. Yes, there is. There are evil white men. I'm not going to say there's not, okay? But the majority, okay? And then you say, well, people of the same race unalive each other more than anybody else. And yeah, that's true because they're around each other more. But if you look at the numbers, the percentages, okay, you know, you're unaliving Keisha a lot more than we're unaliving Becky statistically. I'm just saying, okay? But anyway, they are vulnerable. Black men made black women vulnerable. They made them unprotected. Okay? I'm not saying all, but quite a few. Okay? So dismiss me with that crap. Okay? If you were taking care of business, they wouldn't be vulnerable. They wouldn't be arguing back and forth. They'd feel secured in love and their relationship, but it's not happening. So, okay. All right. Now, here's another one. Okay. All right. And this is from this trigger dude. I mean, gosh dang. The world doesn't revolve around white men and black women because they are together. Okay. Let's address that. The world don't revolve around white men and black women being together. I don't know if I'd say the world revolves around that, but the world is a better place when black women and white men get together. So the world does get better. It becomes a safer place. There's more progress. And look, the more black women, white men get together, I believe our country will be stronger. I believe we'll tap into something that's beautiful, and something that and I think it'll be such a blessing. We don't even know how good it'll be. Uh, so, he's caught in his feelings. He said the world don't revolve around you guys, but see, he's triggered because he knows there's something special with black women, white men. He knows there's a blessing there. Okay, he knows the world is changing because of this, okay? And it is, right? You can't go to another group of women and be more wealthy than your own group of women when your group actually dominates in your country. Think about that. Let that settle, right? And really, we don't dominate like we could as white people. They try to say like we're white supremacists and we dominate and we just suppress people. No, we're not doing that. Actually, we walk around with white guilt and, apologizing all the dang time. Actually, we need to be a little tougher. Okay. Just standing up for ourselves, we're called racist. But look, black women and white men are making an impact, not just with each other in our lives, but our communities, our nation. Okay? We are the best option for each other. So maybe the world does revolve around us together a little bit. Okay? All right. Okay, you ready for some more comments? I got 4 more. All right. This is from Nat Turner. Okay. All right. You all talking like when white men, black women get together is going to take over the universe. You all talking. Okay. The blind leading the blind. Okay, well, here's a fact for you, Nat Turner. Okay. White men and black women, when we get together, we are the most successful. We are the most loving couple. We actually are loving each other like we should, for the most part. and we are the most successful. When love, marriage, our children, our financial situation, maybe I don't know if we're taking over the universe, but we're changing the universe. And I think it's like something in God's plan. We're supposed to do this, you know. But anyway, that's my thing. And if we're blind leading the blind, well, damn, blind people are pretty amazing because we are the most successful uh, in the corporate world and our marriages. Okay, in the spiritual world, we're the most successful. So, does the universe? Are we going to take over the universe? No, but I think we'll change it. Okay, so thank you so much, Nat Turner fanboy. Thank you so much um, for your input. Okay, here's another one. This is and this is from my last live, guys. A lot of people triggered on this. Okay, this one I had a little bit of trouble getting this in here, but you can see it. I'll read it to you. Okay, this is from Father Figure. I think he meant like a slain father figure. Okay, 1186. Okay, he says just another white supremacist who is hell bent on eradicating the black man and race, and you simpleton ass black people steadily fall for the trickery. How come he don't talk about black men and white women? All right, so he's calling me a white supremacist, and I'm trying to eradicate the black man. Well, with that logic, me procreating with a black woman, wouldn't that take out the white man also? Genius. Okay. My kids are not fully white because my wife's black. They're biracial. So if I'm taking out the black man, I'm taking out the white man also. So what the hell? And then he says, so what is why you make sure you stump the black man and all his efforts so that he can't have his own hidden treasure? Well, let me tell you something, Father Figure. The black woman does have, or the black man does have that treasure. The black man's always had that hidden, so-called hidden treasure, right? I call the black woman the hidden treasure, right? The black man's always had that treasure. The black man's always had the love of a black woman. Okay? The black man has always been blessed with that. The most beautiful, the most loving woman on earth. The black man has that. What are you talking about? You have it, but you're throwing it away. You're squandering your blessing. But that's okay. Men like me understand the blessing. We understand the love of black women. We understand the beauty. We understand the blessing that she is. So if you don't want her, we're more than happy to wife her up. I'm just saying. So all that stuff, we're not trying to, and see, they turn it into a victimization of the black man. They're trying to get to the black man. It has nothing to do with the black man. It's the black woman we're interested in. Beta, it's the black woman that we love. Come on now. I'm not worried about what black men are doing. I'm worried about black women. That's who I love. That's who my wife is. I mean, come on now. I'm not trying to eradicate anybody. And I don't care about racial supremacy. I don't. We're people. And that's why I could see the truth in black women, because I don't have that racial barrier that you do, Beta King. You do. But you got such a barrier that you worship black men. You're a simp for black men, Beta Kings. You are. It's your fault too. All right. Now here's another one. Okay. All right. And this is truly a joke. Gaslighting at its finest. This is funny as hell. Okay, Anthony, a user in MacMan. Okay. You might think of it as a joke and funny as hell, but this is reality. Okay? I don't find this a joke at all. Only 27% of black women are married. Okay? And black women have a better marriage when they marry out. Okay? That's been proven over and over. So you could call it gaslighting and you can laugh at it, but you know what? You're losing a blessing. And you know what? You're going to force black women to date and marry out because you're not respecting them, you're not loving them, you're not treating them like the treasure that they are. In fact, you're trying to be the treasure. You're trying to be the prize when the black woman is the prize. Okay? And you're forcing black women to non-black men. And you know what? When we get together with black women and we see the true beauty and the love she has, oh, it's over. So go ahead and laugh. Laugh and call it a joke as you hit the wall. Okay? It's not black women that are hitting the wall, it's you. And you can call it a joke all you want, but the last laugh will be on you. I mean, listen to what I say. All right. All right. I got two more, and then I got some videos I want to react on. Okay, this comment, okay, this is the real Israel 1447. Okay, this clown, he says, and he's talking about me and my wife in our picture, my military picture, right? When we're at the army ball with me and my wife. And he says, got a gorilla on the left. He's talking about my wife, okay? This is a black man. And a frost demon on the right. Okay? That's pretty disgusting what he just said, right? He called my wife a gorilla. Now, what if I was to call a black person a gorilla? What would happen to me? That would be perceived as racist. I'd probably get my channel deleted. I'd probably lose my job, and I would be pretty much, my butt would be handed to me, right? I would never call a person a gorilla anyway, okay? But he did to my wife. He called me a frost demon, okay? But what if, you know, he had a white wife and I called her the frost demon and him the gorilla? Nothing's going to happen to this clown for doing this. But if I did this, I'd be in deep trouble. But this clown, he looks like a Hebrew Israelite. And a lot of these guys come on my channel and make rude, hateful comments. And, you know, they claim to be God's people, but they actually act like a barrel of jackasses, if you know what I mean. I mean, they waste more energy on a YouTube channel that I have than building their own community. Now, I don't know how the whole group is, but I know some people that have been part of the Black Hebrew Israelites, okay? And I've heard some horrible stories, okay? Multiple wives, abusing women, occult-like activity. Now, maybe they're all not like that. I don't know. But they do sure come on my channel and show some hate because I got a black wife. And if you're the children of God, wouldn't you act like it? I'm just saying. Act like the children of God you claim to be. Quit acting like a barrel of jackasses. Okay? But the real Israelite 1447, you kiss my ass. Just saying. Okay? All right. Now I got one more, and I'll show you some videos. All right. This here. All right. Let's welcome D. Anthony Miles. Okay. Are you one of the Beta King fanboys? Welcome. He says, I find these comments very interesting, especially the ones about black men. I have a lot of white female friends. Okay, congratulations. He must be bowling for Becky's hard. So, okay. You should hear the things they say about white men. Oh my God, Becky's talking about white men. Oh no. You think you're going to diss me by telling me that? Like I really give a damn? Like I care what some Becky's somewhere are saying about white men? I don't care. Whatever. Becky's not my preference anyway. Okay. You should hear what they say about white men. It's really bad. They're not flawless men you profess them to be. Okay, I never said white men were flawless men. We're not. But we are showing more love and respect to black women than you are, black men. I'm just saying. We're doing it. We're more successful with black women than black men are. It's the truth. That's all I'm saying. That's fact. Yeah, we got our problems too. Every man does. But look at the stats. And he says, just saying, everybody thinks their person's grass is greener in their yard. Well, let me tell you something. I know my grass is greener in my yard. You know why? Because my marriage rates are a hell of a lot higher than yours. And especially with black women. Oh my God, we lead the way. White men and black women lead the way, sir. We do. We're killing it. We're the most successful. So, yeah, my grass is greener, okay? And that's not arrogance. That's not me boasting, but it is the truth. Look at the stats. And you understand what I'm saying. And by the way, Becky ain't on to you like that, okay? You might get some that talk bad about white men, but they do it to us all the time in our own community. White women in our own families go in on us. We're used to it. So what? Good for you. Maybe you can bowl for Becky's and be successful. But go at it. Look, hey, let me tell you, go bowling for Becky's. You know what? When you focused on Becky, then us white men that love black women can focus on Keisha. And we'll win that way. So, hey, it's part of the plan. It's part of the agenda. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. So Anthony Miles, you are now Roadrunner famous. Thank you for your comment. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm going to talk about The Little Mermaid. Okay. And I pulled this off of someone's TikTok. I wasn't able to get it off Umar Johnson's for some reason. But I want to talk about this because my good buddy, chubby buddy Umar, he made his opinion on The Little Mermaid. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what I think. All right. Let me put this. All right. Let me center this so you can see it better. Okay. Dr. Umar is unhappy with The Little Mermaid. I wonder why.
The whole movie was about a black girl living in the water, thirsting for a white man on the land. The whole movie was about her chasing down and thirsting after the Caucasian. That was the whole movie. The whole damn film.
Okay, let me give my opinion. I don't think it's about thirsting after the white man. Okay? If you analyze the movie, she's a mermaid. She lives in a different world. She sees men up there that are living on dry land. She's curious. She's thinking, oh, this is different. And let me tell you, Dr. Umar, there is something about curiosity, something that's different that catches the eye. Okay. And a lot of interracial relationships start out that way because you're curious. I mean, my interracial dating started that way. I remember it all the way back in junior high. I remember seeing black girls with braided hair, beads, and it caught my eye. It was different. It was something neat, something unusual, something I was attracted to. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. And in the movie, that's what it's showing. It's something different. You can care about somebody that don't look like you. Okay, let's continue.
How could you take your daughter to see that? Black fathers, how could you take your daughter to see that?
Well, as a white father that has biracial daughters and a biracial son, oh yeah, I can take them to see that. And grandchildren, granddaughters, yeah, I took them all to see it. Darn right. I thought it was a good message, and they enjoyed it. They loved it.
Black mothers, how could you take your daughter to see that? The whole film was nothing but an interracial thirst fest. That was the whole film, brothers and sisters. The whole film. She left the water kingdom. The Little Mermaid abandoned the water kingdom so she could sleep with white flesh.
Okay, first of all, it was a fairy tale story. She did not sleep with him, okay? She had love for him. She wanted to be with him. There were no sexual scenes in this, Umar, okay? And a lot of you beta kings, you think everything revolves around sex, that love is all about sex. And that's why this jackass talks about sleeping with the white, because that's all he thinks about. He talks about black women is 5'5", thick in the thighs, 5'5". He don't even know what a black woman's about. I mean, come on. It's a Disney movie. There was no sex scenes. There was no making out. I mean, well, if they kissed, okay, but it was innocent. Come on. This is the future, Umar. Interracial relationships is the freaking future. Get used to it. It's part of God's plan. It's going to happen. God wants us to be together. Yes, black and white people. He don't want a segregated mindset idiocy that you're living in. Quit worshiping your skin tone, idiot.
She left, and how did she have a white father? How did she have a white father?
Well, maybe her mother was black. She looks like she could be biracial. I'm just saying. We never did see the mother, right? So, but anyway, who cares? I think it's a beautiful thing that they had black and white people living together and peaceful as a family.
The white boy had a black mother. Somebody help me understand.
Okay, let me help you understand, Umar. You didn't do your freaking research. You don't even pay attention. Okay? In the story, the mother and father saved the young man from an accident at sea. He was an adopted son. Good God, look at research. I mean, come on. They didn't say they were the biological parents, but they can be the parents. They loved him. Yes, she was black, he was white. And good God, that's the best combination on earth.
Help me understand. Help me understand. How did she have a white father, but the white boy had a black mother? He was not mixed race.
No, he was adopted, idiot. They brought him in as their own son. People do that. Okay, they've been doing it for centuries.
And the mother was richly melanated. So somebody's going to have to help me understand. How did he have a richly melanated?
Okay, this guy is so stupid. If he would listen to the movie and do a little research, it would his questions would be answered. Okay? He's just mad because a black girl is in love with a white boy or a black woman in love with a white man and he can't take it. But look, this is the future. This is happening now. And interracial couples is growing. You could call it like a conspiracy or a plan. No, it's just what's taking place. Okay? People are naturally attracted to each other. And yes, people are attracted to others that look different, that, have differences about them. The curiosity sets in. They say, you know what? And then they find beauty in other groups of people. That's a blessing. That's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but this guy, if he would listen to the movie instead of worrying about who the mermaid is falling in love with, he would. Wow. Okay. Getting triggered over a Disney movie. Okay, let's move on.
Black mother, but he was pure Neanderthal. Can someone help me out?
There we go, Neanderthal. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of bigotry there, calling us cavemen. Okay. But I tell you what, there, Mr. Superior Man. I tell you what, I take care of the black women I'm around than you do with the ones you're around. I come with true love and I come with resources, even though I make a fraction of what you do. Where's your wife? Where's your black wife and where's your black family? Dr. Umar, Mr. Pro-Black. Where's your black queen? Your black wife. You call them queens, right? But do they gotta be thick, 5'5", thick in the thighs?
Make it make sense, brothers and sisters. Make it. They had their Asian rapper playing the ghetto bird. They had a ghetto bird in there. Always got to have a little ghetto animal. They always put ghetto animals in the black cartoon movies. They always put ghetto sounding, talking animals in the black cartoon movie. So the bird was ghetto, but she was played by an Asian rapper. A ghetto black bird voiced by an Asian rapper. A ghetto black bird.
Yeah, and maybe it's because they want to be hip to the lingo, okay? The black influence with the rap thing. And, I think they put that in there to kind of satisfy everybody. It's a marketing thing, Dr. Umar. Come on. I mean, you're educated and you can't figure this stuff out. You don't even know why his mother's black and his father's white. I mean, does he pay attention? I mean, this dude, when he went in on Ralph Richard Banks about telling black women to open up their options, he didn't even know he was married to a black woman. The guy don't do his research. He just comes out and starts talking. No. Oh, she's thirsting after a white guy. Oh my God, there's a ghetto bird. Stupid.
Voiced by an Asian rapper. And then the blackest character in the movie was Sebastian, the damn STD crab. The blackest character in the movie was an STD crab.
Well, Umar, I think you're an STD crab because all you got is 5'5" thick in the thighs and the man cave, all sexual things. So you probably had some STDs because you think in lust instead of love. You're a piece of crap. I mean, I would say you're the STD crab, Dr. Umar. That would be a good part for you to play. Just saying. And then they talk about white men fetishizing black women when this guy does it on a regular basis. Like, wow.
Sebastian. Sebastian was the blackest character in the movie, and he was an STD crab. An STD crab. An STD crab. And he was played by the mixed race brother. He was played by the mixed race brother. They had Halle Bailey's skin bleached so light. I don't know what kind of makeup they put on that girl. They had her trying to look as white as they can make it. Then she had blonde hair. And when she left the Water Kingdom and got on the...
Well, actually, it's red hair. But, I mean, so what? Bleaching? I think that's just their natural skin tone. See, guys like this get triggered in movies like this, but actually The Little Mermaid is actually showing you a piece of reality, okay? And let me explain, and maybe the delusional doctor, maybe he would understand one day. This is a reflection of reality. Even though it's a fairy tale movie, it's all fantasy, right? But here's the thing. Black women, white men, they are attracted to each other. Beyond popular belief that we're only attracted to our own skin tone, we are attracted to each other. And you know what? And a lot of curiosity, leads us to each other. Just like the mermaid saw the men on the ship and she saw the young man and thought he was attractive, right? He was different. He was unusual. It caught her eye, her imagination. And then the young man seen her, rescue him, and he was attracted to her because she was different. Opposites attract, right? I mean, come on. I don't think they were skin bleaching her, though. I think that's her natural skin tone. There are light complected black women. Come on. I mean, you talk about it all the time, Dr. Umar. Your two wives, you had a light skin one and a dark skin. You boasted about that, right? So there are different skin tones in black women, right? I mean, come on. But you're just going to assume that because of white supremacy, they're going to bleach her skin white. Well, if that was the case, they would just put a white girl in the film, okay? They wouldn't even bother with bleaching a black girl's skin. Come on now. I mean, this all makes no sense.
The land, she had blonde locks. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. The whole movie was about her stealing the heart of the snow puppy. The whole movie was about her stealing the heart of the snow puppy.
What a dummy. Say it again.
Then they finally...
Oh, you didn't say it 3 times. Or did I miss it? It's about her stealing the heart of the snow puppy, you say? Let me tell you something. You speak a lot of foolishness, but you did speak something truth. Okay? Black women are still in the hearts of non-black men. Let me tell you something. Black women have had my heart since I was a boy. Growing up as a teenager and a man, black women are the only women that can break my heart because they have my heart. They stole my heart because of their beauty, because of their love, because of their sweet spirit. Black women have my heart. So you're kind of right on that, Dr. Umar. That's reality. When a black woman touches your heart and she shows you true love for you, she's going to get your heart and she's going to own it. And there's no other woman you're going to want to be with. Take it from me. It's a fact. So, even though it's a fantasy fairy tale, a lot of this is happening in real life, in real time. Okay? Hey, just look at the message. But look at what's happening. Because a lot of times they get these movies and it was interracially based. It was. Okay. Some people say, well, that's kind of weird. Why they have to go there? I think it's good they went there because this is reality. It represents a lot of our communities. It represents my community. I'm in an interracial marriage. I got a black wife, biracial kids. I got my family and my wife's family. So there's black and white people around me all the time. That's reality for me. And it's nice to see a reflection of it, even if it's like a fairy tale. Okay. And my daughters picked up on that. My granddaughter picked up on that. She said, it's like our family. And what's wrong with that? My granddaughter said that. Wow, his mom looks like my grandma. And the dad looks like my papo. And she pieced it together and she says, well, I look like the mermaid. And she was so happy. I mean, that's a reflection of my family, my life. Okay? Of course, it's in a fairy tale setting, but when I look at it, I say, wow. But guys like Umar don't like that. He's a segregationist. He's a modern day segregationist. Him and David Duke are segregationists. They're like the same person in different skin tones, really. Listen to these guys talk. Of course, but anyway.
It's at the end. I don't need my daughter watching that. I don't need my daughter watching that. This was a propaganda movie to tap into the imagination of young black girls. This was nothing but Meghan Markle and Prince Harry for children. That's all this was. This was nothing but Meghan Markle and Prince Harry for children. That's all this was. This was nothing more than Meghan Markle and Prince Harry for children, brothers and sisters. The whole movie was about a black girl living in the water, thirsting for a white man on the land. She gave up her gills. She gave up her damn fins. She gave up everything to chase that damn milk of.
Okay, let's stop it there. Let me say this. When I saw the mermaid, I kind of looked at my life in a way, because how she was curious, how she had an infatuation with the young man. I had that with black women, black girls when I was little. And I was curious. I was infatuated. I wanted to get to know them. I wanted to be a part of their life. And you know what? I gave up some things in my life to be with my wife, my black wife. I went through some things so I could have my black wife, right? Because I love her, because she was awesome. But it started out with curiosity. It started out, something that was different, but something that was beautiful that came together. And that's what I seen in this movie. And I have no problem the way it was set up. I think it's good. And look, I know Disney ain't the most holy organization, but how it was put together, it's actually a reflection of life itself today in the interracial world. Okay? And I know Dr. Umar wanted her to be a black woman with a black man and a black family, and just that's it. Okay? But he's a black supremacist. He just wants to be around black people. And if he wants to do that, that's his right to do that. But you're not going to stop what's happening. And you talk about your daughters. Do your daughters live with you, doctor? You don't want them seeing this movie. What if your daughters end up marrying a white man? Are you going to stop it? Let me tell you something. Those of you pro-blacks that hate white people, Get ready, because white people are going to be in your family. Those of you that hate your daughters dating white men, guess what? They're going to end up being your son-in-laws. It's going to happen. God has a way of knocking down bigotry by putting you with the people you do not like. Just like a lot of white men that didn't like black people, guess what? Tyrone was marrying his daughter. Did that happened a lot. Let me tell you, you can't stop the inevitable. People are going to procreate with whoever they want to be with. And in today's world, that racial purity, that being down for the cause, that's dying. Okay? And I'm okay with that. If the white man and the black man disappear, I don't give a damn. I just want good people. I want to procreate and build a legacy. I want a great marriage, and I want my children to be successful and loving people. I don't care what they look like. I'm not trying to preserve my whiteness. So why are you trying to preserve your blackness? You can't. Because your children, your grandchildren, generations are going to do what they want. And it's already shifting. So get over yourself. Get over your bigotry. And just embrace people. Get the best woman for the job, the best man for the job. Okay? You'll be better off when you think that way. You try to preserve a certain race. Look, even segregation, people were procreating. White men and black women have been together since the beginning of time. And they will be till the end of time. And if we all become biracial, so be it. I don't see a problem in that. People are people. I'm just saying. But anyway, let me take this down. I got a couple more videos, and then I'm going to open the panel if you want to come up. If not, I'll just close it. But this guy I came across, right? And I don't know much about him, but I picked up some things he put out here. And he's not a fanboy. The fanboy was the one sending me the messages, the ones that were triggered, saying, you're not dominating the world and all this stuff, whatever. It's not about dominating. It's about making the best choice. It's about finding true love and building legacy. And I guess when you do that, you kind of dominate, right? And black women, white men, we're going to dominate in that field. Okay? But we're not forcing our will on people. We're just finding a better blessing outside of our racial group. And we're being more successful when we do it. Okay. Let me put this up here.
Because let me put it in context.
Okay, this is this man here. I'm just finding out who he is. He's Dennis Burley. I think he's an attorney. I did a review on Trailer Park Willie, one of his sidekick clowns, digging in on black women. And this guy's going to talk about the most disloyal group of women on the planet. He's going in on black women, okay? And I have a problem with that. And I'm going to voice my opinion on this, okay? But let's hear what he has to say.
Are black women just inherently ungrateful? Because let me put it in context for you. When I read Chancellor Williams' book, Destruction of Black Civilization, I noticed that when the Northern invaders came down, black women opened themselves up, allowed themselves to be impregnated, raised the invaders' children, and it was that same buffer class of children that turned on their African family, their mother's family, the indigenous Africans, and allowed those Northern invaders to come in and take over what we have now as Africa, basically.
Okay, so the northern invaders, is he talking about other Africans conquering Africans? Because that did happen. Sorry. I mean, Africa, they have conquered each other for centuries, just like Europe did, just like the Middle East did, just like Asia did. Men have conquered men ever since the beginning of time. When you go into the Bible, and you hear about the Egyptians enslaving the Hebrews, and making them build their pyramids and being slaves. I mean, this was a thing that happened all through history. Okay, so when he talks about the northern invaders, other Africans taking over Africans, and he says that black women just let them impregnate them, I call BS on this. Black women don't do that kind of thing, and no group of women would just let the enemy impregnate them. What is that? I mean, maybe some were conquered in Ard. Maybe the Northerners forced themselves on these women. That's probably more of what happened than them just, freely letting them impregnate them. No, that's BS. But anyway, let's continue.
A conquered continent. I look at books like Daughters of the Trade, which took place in 1500 all the way, during the transatlantic slave trade. It was African women who allowed these Dutch and European slave traders to marry into those families. They literally took care of these men and helped conduct the slave trade.
Okay, stop right there. Okay, he's blaming black women for the slave trade, all because some Dutch and some Europeans married black women. That did happen. But guess what? In order for the slave trade to take place, it took thousands of Africans to round up other Africans to sell them off. Okay? And it wasn't black women coming up with a diabolical scheme to do this. It was black men, sir. Okay? Your ancestors dealt with our ancestors and did an evil deed. Okay? And it was horrible. But it happened. It wasn't black women scheming something up. This is, and see, I hate this. I hate when these beta dudes, right, come in and blame black women for every damn thing that takes place. I'm like, come on. You were conquered, okay? And it wasn't white men that just went in there and conquered you. Actually, it's other black men that conquered you and sold you off. That's what happened. And yes, some Dutch and some European, Spanish, and all this married black women. They did it. Okay? The slave trade had a lot of bloody hands in it, a lot of black hands in it. The logistics required a lot of black people involved in this to make it happen. Okay? It wasn't black women that just decided to do this.
They would enslave men and women, and when I look at that, it's like, damn, I'm starting to see a pattern. When I come over here to the United States, South Carolina, I believe, I forget that, what's that major city in South Carolina? Charleston, South Carolina. 60% of the black slave owners in South Carolina, and yes, black people did own slaves. 60% of the black slave owners in South Carolina were black women. And so,
okay, 60% of slave owners in South Carolina were black women. No, I don't think so, sir. Yeah, there were black people that owned slaves. There were, and owned plantation. There was a black man that was a slave owner, the richest man in North Carolina, that actually was a black man that owned slaves. Yes, this did happen. But black women, how could, no. I mean, where do they get this data? I think it's all an assumption because, the slave owner slept with some slaves. That happened. And sometimes the slave owners would give their slaves money and land and actually willed it to them This did happen. And, I'm sure there was, but at the time, plantation owners weren't women anyway. They were all men. It was a highly male dominated society. Plantation owners were not women. Okay? That didn't happen. It was men. And it wasn't black women running plantations. I don't know where he gets this data. Okay? Maybe there was a black woman close to the slave master that participated in slavery. I don't know. But 60%, come on. Like society and the racist society back then is going to let black women dominate the slave trade. Come on. It makes no damn sense. Where is the logic? I want to know where he gets the stats. It makes no sense.
And then I look at the fact that, yeah, you know what? A lot of these so-called captive sex slaves in these relationships with these white men were happy to do that because it meant they get to sleep in master's bed. They got to have master's half white bastard babies. They got treated a little bit better. They butter biscuits.
Okay, let's do a little history here. Okay, this woman you see, okay, that's Thomas Jefferson, right? Dang it, let me get it. Okay. Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers, he was a slave owner. He had an affair with this woman, Sally Hemings, okay? And I believe his wife was actually related to Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings was not a black woman, okay? She was a biracial woman. In fact, she was 3/4 white. She was only a fourth black, right? Because her dad and mom, her dad was white and her mom was biracial, okay? So she was like, I would say like my granddaughter's a fourth black, right? Because my son-in-law's white, I'm white, my wife's black, my daughter's biracial. So she's a quarter. So Sally Hemings was more white than black. She was 3/4 white, if you didn't know this. Okay? But back then, if you had a drop of black, you were black. Okay? They didn't classify, and that's why a lot of white people kind of disappeared, because when you had biracial children, they wrote them off as black, because white supremacy meant you had to be purely white. But yeah. But anyway, and look, guys, I think there's when I wasn't around when this stuff took place, but I believe that there were some slave women that actually fell in love with the slave master. And let me explain why I believe that's true. I don't think it was, that he just beat her down, chained her up, and just brutally ard her, okay? Yeah, that did happen, but I think it's more of a coercing. You get a better life, you're not out picking cotton, you're working in the house, you have a relationship with the slave master. I believe some of the black women fell in love with the slave master. And you got to understand the mindset. Naturally, women are attracted to men that have power. Even evil men that have power, women are attracted to that. Okay, it's like a natural thing to want to be with a man with power. And who had the most power? The plantation owner did. He dominated everything. What he said goes. If and his wife had no say. If he wanted to mess with slaves and the whatever, he could do it. And she couldn't say a damn thing. She had to live with it. Because where's she going to go? Okay? And back then, that wasn't considered adultery because they didn't consider black people as people. So that's the loophole they gave themselves. It was evil, but anyway. But enough of that. Okay? That's a little history story. But yeah, Thomas Jefferson was known to have a plantation with white slaves. Okay? She was a quarter white. Her children looked white. Like I look. but they were still slaves because they had black in them. And that happened. There were black plantation owners that had slaves that looked white, and it just kind of a weird dynamic. But anyway, let's continue.
Biscuits a little warmer, had a little bit more butter on it. You see them, they get to say, my babies is my man. These are man, and they might mess around and inherit some money. Hell, when I look at the HR department right now in some of these white companies, them goddamn human resource directors, those black ones, damn, they give brothers the hardest time.
Okay, stop right there. Okay, and this is the crap I really hate. And this is I totally disagree on him on this, okay? He's trying to connect slavery to black women in the corporate world because they're not giving black men a job and not pandering to black men and not taking care of them. This is BS, okay? We're in 2023, okay? Black women in the HR field, they have to hire good, productive people, okay? And they cannot, go and hook up black men because they're black, because they need to get someone that's going to turn a profit, somebody that's going to be successful in the company. So they can't be loyal to the black man when it comes to their career. He's got to prove himself like everybody else. And I think a lot of black men take this like, hey, well, you're a sister, hook a brother up. No, she can't do that unless you're the best option. So, and I hate when they link it to slavery. Like, come on, shut up, dude. I mean, it happened. It's over. We can't fix it. Black women are not trying to. There's no more slave master. There's no more plantations. The white man ain't totally controlling black women. Okay? Black women are just successful. Okay? Black women are killing it in the corporate world. And black men are falling behind. I'm sorry to say it. It is what it is. Okay? So that's what's happening. So when you start going back to slavery, when you start going back in the past, you're actually showing your weakness. You're showing that you can't compete in today's world. You have to go back to that security blanket. And it's pathetic. Love that black woman. Appreciate the fact that she worked her way up. And yes, if she don't give you that job, that's her right. That's her position. She's got to filter people out. And you know what? And I can see a lot of black men not getting hired because they expect her, because she's a black woman, to kind of help them out. Give them the hookup. She can't do that. She's got to be successful. Because if she hires the wrong people, guess what? The corporation goes down. She could be fired because I'm just saying. But let's continue.
So it's like, it's almost like, and please put me in my place if I'm wrong, but it seems to me as though black American women have been the best assistant to the white man in his oppression of black people since the first black man.
Nope, wrong. Yes, I'm going to put you in your place. You are wrong. Black women are the most race loyal, dude. They are the ones that stay with the black man no matter what. No, black women are not doing this. You are doing it to yourself. You're destroying the black family. The beta male is destroying the black family. It's not the black woman. She's trying to keep it together. She's trying to speak life into you. She's trying to lift you up. She's trying to tell the world you're the best option when in many cases you're not. She's marching for you. She's protesting for you. She's jumping on the sword for you. No, she's not helping white men destroy the black family. She's forced to go to the white man because of resources and because in her community she can't find a husband. She's got to date and marry down so many times. A lot of times black women are tired. They want a man that loves them and cares for them. You're destroying the community. You are. It's not the black woman. And until you realize that, you're going to be in last place. And it blows my mind how these dudes can say that black women are part of white supremacy. Like they're helping, like black women are helping white men destroy the black family. Look, there's millions more white men than black people, white people than black people. If we were that racist, we would have already destroyed you. Let's be honest. If we were that racist and we wanted to suppress you, slavery would have never ended. Jim Crow would be a fantasy. Let me tell you, that is the honest to God truth. Now, are there racist white people? Damn right there are. And they're evil and they need to be dealt with. But let me tell you something. It's white people that probably gave you your job. It's white people that are trying to help you out more than you know. So this stuff was trying to link us all as racist is crap. And then trying to put it on black women. Why? Because she chose a white man? Or she won't hire that black man because he's black? Come on. Get over yourself. Start taking some responsibility. Quit pinning it on black women.
And since the first northern invader came into Africa, does that mean we are inherently, our sisters are inherently untrustworthy? Are they inherently arrogant? Do they just think that little of us? Help me.
Okay, and this is why you're losing. This is why Beta Kings lose. Okay, right there. Okay, he's going back in history. Some Africans conquered by other Africans, blaming black women for that failure, blaming black women for slavery, blaming black women for white supremacy, all this stuff. And this is where you lose. Black women are the most loving and loyal women on earth. And black women, it's amazing how many black women still stick with black men, even though they get treated badly, even though they're the most unprotected, most disrespected. They still love you. They still are falling on the sword for you. They're still protesting for you. They're still giving everything for you, black man. I'm saying. But yet, instead of showing them love and saying, thanks for being loyal to us, thanks for trying to speak life into us, what you do is you blame them for everything. You blame them for your downfall in your community. Your downfall is because of the marriage rates. A lot of it's because of that. The breakup of the family. You can say, well, white supremacy led it to that. Well, if you know what caused it, fix it. It's not illegal to get married. If you're a black man and you want to marry a black woman, there's plenty of black women out there. You can build a family with her. You can love her. You can, but you won't. Because you'd rather be a pimp and player than a husband and father. And that's your downfall. It's not the black woman scheming. It's not white supremacy. It's not slavery. It's you as a failure. It's you failing to take responsibility. It is what it is. And, you know, it's amazing. Black women, white men have a stronger marriage than two black people. Well, it's not. I understand it. It makes sense. Okay. Let me go ahead and take this down. All right. All right, there's another one of him, and then I'll open up the panel.
And for you men out there, you simps.
Okay, and this is one I talk about here. This term simps, okay? I want to talk about this. And I'm going to tell you my opinion on simps, because we hear this a lot, right? He's going to address the simps. Let's hear this.
And for you men out there, you simps, who are defending this degenerate behavior by black women, because to you, the black woman is queen, understand that you are nothing more than an enabler. You are her heroin dealer. You are the one that protects her and feeds her this degenerate a drug. This and allows for this immoral character, which is undermining our nation of black people. And you,
Okay. Did you see that? Did you see Kamala Harris's look?
immoral character, which is and allows for this immoral character, which is undermining our.
That is so funny. She's like, black man, no. I guess after Willie Brown, she's like, no more black men. She married a white man. I just love that look. That's funny.
Nation of black people. And you too deserve what she gets. Chastisement. But because you're a man and you're in the way of progress, you are our enemy. Because anyone who is in the way of black men correcting the bad behavior of black women.
Okay, black men correcting the behavior of black women. What about correcting your behavior? How about correcting your pump and dump behavior? How about correcting not marrying the women that you impregnate? How about correcting your behavior of blaming black women for everything and not taking accountability? You know, it's amazing because a lot of these betas will act like black women are the blame and they're like perfect men. Like they're doing everything they want. They're like good men. They're like, you know, black women are getting pregnant. It's only a few black men impregnating all these women. Like they would be very busy men to do this, right? But it's like they're saints, like they're just good schoolboys trying to get an education, but they can't because black women are, you know, coming along with white men to suppress them.
You, sir, are an adversary. Now, I understand there are a lot of black men who have daughters, and your natural inclination is to protect your daughter. But if your daughter is exhibiting whore behavior, and you are not correcting that whore behavior.
Okay. What causes that behavior, sir? Is it black men not marrying them? Doing the right, proper thing? Making that woman your wife instead of a girlfriend or a plaything? You're going to blame women for this, right? But yet, men in your community are more concerned about body count, more concerned about being a player. You know, pimping and playing, that's the name of the game, right? Don't be a simp. And then you wonder why your community sucks. Seriously.
And thus intensifying the problems that we have here in the United States, then you're an inadequate father. You're a weak man, and you didn't deserve to be a father in the first place. More importantly, you're not operating by the code that you need to operate by, and you need to be checked because you're out of line. You got a new group of black men coming along.
Yeah, that's scary. Is the new group of black men coming along husbands and fathers that want to marry the women, that see the beauty in black women, that want to uplift black women? Is this the new black men that are coming? Or is it the pimp and play Tyrones that are coming through? I just like to know. Because this simp thing, and I've heard this so many times, it seems like if you show love and affection for a woman, you're a simp. Somehow you're weak because you show her love. Somehow you're weak because you do nice things for her. I mean, and it's all about, he talks about the simp, but he's a black male simp for the black man, for the black male. You know, more worried about the image of a black man than your community. Pride will kill you. I'm telling you, pride will destroy you. And if you can't take responsibility, you're never going to be right. You'll be last place your whole life. And I don't know this man personally, but the rhetoric he's talking about is destructive. You know, what you need to do is tell the men in your community, straighten up, take care of the women and the children. You got to correct the man before you correct the women and children. You cannot blame the women and expect to be successful and expect for good things to happen. You can't do it. A man that can't correct himself is a man that's going to destroy himself. You know? But anyway, let's take them off here. But my problem is these black males that are coming up here saying this stuff, they're not addressing the true problem. Okay? What they're doing is they're blaming everything else but themselves. They talk about white supremacy, slavery, and I don't even know why he's going into Africans conquering Africans back in the day and blaming black women for that, the downfall of Africa or whatever. Men have been conquering men forever. That's what men do. It's not a pretty thing. It's not a nice thing. It's happened. Okay? In all continents, in all countries. Africans have conquered other Africans, just like Europeans have conquered each other. You know, the Romans dominated Europe for 500 years or so? It happened. Then the British were on top for a while and they were dominating. Then the Germans were on top, and that's how men are. They conquer each other. And back in the day, it was about conquerors, about resources, about wealth. You know what happened? And yeah, what happened to the loser? Okay, if you weren't unalived, you were a slave. And they took the spoils. They took the women and children. It just is what it is. You know? Was it good? No, it was evil. It was horrible. But that's the way of the world back in the day. But here's the thing. If you're going to be successful in a community and a group of people, the first thing you got to do is take accountability as a man. The first thing you got to do is understand your faults. Okay? And it takes humility. It takes understanding that you're not all that like you think you are. Okay? Once you understand that, then you can rebuild. Then you can become better. Okay? And because women and children will follow our lead as men, if we're not being leaders, guess what? Nobody's being led. Then women have to step up and do it. And then guess what? Then it's all a mess. And the most beta thing you can do is blame women when you're the leader. Now, are there some women that are at fault on things? Yes. Okay? But the majority of the problem is men. Let's be honest, okay? If men in the black community really love black women, they would marry black women. It'd be much higher than 27%. Okay? And then they don't marry black women, and then they turn around and warn black women about white men being racist and evil and all these things. But yet, when black women and white men come together, the marriages last longer. And two, we've been told our whole life as white men that Becky is the princess. She's the most beautiful woman on earth. She's everything, right? We've been conditioned to believe this. I never believed it. I seen the truth from the beginning. And not to say she ain't beautiful, but black women are much more beautiful. I'm just saying. And not just in the looks, but spiritually, emotionally also. But we're not allowed to say that, are we? We're not allowed to think that. And the crazy thing is a lot of times when you show black women love, and experienced this through my life, they kind of freak out like something's wrong with you because you're showing her love, because she's everything to you. And she thinks you have some alternate motive of being with her than just loving her. Serious. But we've been conditioned to think this. But you know what? The truth always surfaces. Black women are the most educated. Wow. Who would have thought? Black women are the biggest entrepreneurs in America. Who would have thought? White men that marry black women have a more successful marriage than with any other group of women. Who would have thought that? Nobody speaks about that. You know why they don't? Because they're too worried about hurting beta males' feelings. They won't tell them the truth. Well, I'll tell the truth. And really, and I say this with confidence, there's no one that loves black women more than I do. And let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you why I love black women so much, okay? I'm going to go down and I'm going to tell you stories of my life, okay? And this came early on in life. It started back when I was very young. I was raised by my father, but I would visit my mother on holidays, okay? My mother gave custody to my father. She gave me to my father. She didn't fight it in court or none of that. She just felt I'd be better off with my father, which I was. Okay. I love my mother. Always had a relationship. My parents were teenagers, right? But anyway, my dad was more stable than my mother. But I would go visit my mother in the summer, in the holidays, right? And my mother worked, right? And she would, have to get a babysitter for me because, I was a little guy, 5 years old, right? There was a family. My grandfather owned some land and some houses, and he rented them out to people. There was a black family that lived there. They're really nice people, right? There was a young teenage girl there that she was like 16 or 17. She would babysit me, right? And something about her, I was in love with her, right? And as a 5-year-old, I'm not thinking about how she looks and all that stuff, none of that. But she was kind and sweet to me, okay? And when she'd babysit me, she would talk to me like, she'd call me big guy. Hey, big guy. And when I was little, I was really little, okay? And people would think I was cute because I was so damn little as a kid, right? And it meant so much for her to call me big guy back in the day. A little kid thinks, oh, man. And then she would give me candy, right? I fell in love right then. You give a 5-year-old boy candy and call him big guy, you won his heart over, right? Now, I remember that vividly, okay? I remember being at church because her family went to church, right? I remember sitting in the pew hugging on her arm. I just felt love from her. And maybe it's kind of lacking from my own mother that I kind of cling to her because a child needs a mother's love, and I kind of got that from that young lady, okay? And that is buried deep in my heart. I remember that. I embrace that. I think about it and I don't know whatever happened to her, if she got married, if she has children, or, I wonder. But I pray for her, and I pray one day I'll see her again. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that meant a lot to me. And it had an impact in my life. And, growing up, I seen positive images of black women. I had a crush on Donna Summer back in the day. And growing up in the 70s, who didn't love Donna Summer? Seriously. If you grew up in my era, she was it, right? That was my celebrity crush. That was my dream girlfriend, right? Um, but there were other young ladies, black women that I always thought were beautiful, right? Thelma from Good Times, and yes, us white people watch Good Times all the time. We watch those black shows, the Jeffersons and the Cosby Show and all that. But I thought she was beautiful, right? And I just had such a positive image of black women, okay? And nobody told me it was wrong for me to feel this way. And it kind of grew. And then I remember going to church, and this is a story. This was maybe my first girlfriend, right? I say my first girlfriend was 16, but this was earlier, right? I was about 10 years old, and she was, I think, 9 years old. But we would go to church and we go to Sunday school, right? And I remember I used to sit next to her, and I had an affection with her. And I remember she would say, we would hang out together, and she'd say, "Will you pray with me?" And she'd hold my hand while we're praying, right? And I remember just feeling that love, right? And we were too young to be dating, like, um, but I remember that, and I remember um, just feeling a closeness, and this was like a friendship that could have very well went into boyfriend and girlfriend later on, right? I just had that love for her, and I remember, and she went to my church, and her parents and my parents were friends, and people thought it was cute that we were close together, and then they got kind of cautious because they saw us holding hands, and we kissed one time, and oh my God, we were in trouble. But that's as far as that went. But I've always had an attraction to black women, and this was a black girl when I was a boy, and it was, there was something special about black women, even when I was a child, and I saw that young lady at church, my parents' church, when me and my wife first got married, and my oldest daughter was born. Um, I remember we went to church, and she was there visiting with her parents, and we talked, and about our friendship back in the day, and she told me, she says, your wife's blessed. She married a good man. You're going to have a good marriage, and I know you are. You got a kind heart, and I was like, you do too. Our little friendship. I said that helped me with dating and with my marriage, because I got a glimpse of what a real relationship should be. And we were only children, right? And I remember I bought her this necklace, right? And my allowance, my dad would give me like $4 or something. That don't seem like nothing, right? But I remember I spent almost my whole allowance on this necklace I got her. And it was a cheap necklace, but I talked to her in the morning at church, and she came back that night. She had that necklace in her hand. She says, "I still got this. This means a lot to me. Our friendship will never die." And it was a beautiful thing. And, that's an example of relationship building, seeing the beauty in black women, even as a child, seeing the beauty in black girls when I was a little boy, right? And it's kind of a preview of my life. And I've always had a special place in my heart for black women, always have. And I don't know what it is, if it's just I have so much love for them because of the good experiences I've had. And these women have touched my heart as a child, as growing up. And, I remember the first girlfriend I dated. I just, back in high school, I was 16, and I asked this girl out. She grabbed my hand and said she'd be my girlfriend, right? And that meant a lot to me. But you're probably wondering, why am I rambling on about this? But this is my life. This is what I've experienced. And, you know, but there's something about black women. There's a certain beauty that black women have, their heart, their spirituality, and I see it. And the love I have comes from God. It does. And, you know, but anyway, what do you say? What is your point, Bobby? What is my point? No, the point is I have love for black women because I see the true beauty. And it's not a lustful thing. It's not that I'm looking at her body and it's great. No, it's really I see the true beauty. And when you see the spirit and you see the woman that has a big heart, you fall in love with the inside out. And then all those other desires later on in life when you get married, that falls in place and it does it in a beautiful way. And you know, oh, talking to Bobby Bass. Okay. I thought you were talking to me, calling me Bobby. What's your point? But anyway, you know, but I've always felt that way. And, you know, even to this day, I have good relationships with black women. And, you know, I have a special love for them because I've seen the blessings that black women have to offer. I've seen the true beauty. And I tell you, when I see black women doing amazing things, accomplishing things, I get happy. And people say, "Well, that's weird. Why would you? You're a white man. Why would you care what's going on with black women?" I just like to see them do well. I've had good relationships with black women along the way, women that I've been friends with, women that took care of me when I was a child, women that in the church, women that I dated, had relationships with, women to this day I work with and have friendships with. Okay, um, there's something special, and there's a special love I have that I've been given from black women, and I don't understand why black men don't see this. I don't understand why they don't know what I'm talking about. I don't get it. I really don't understand. And maybe because God opened my eyes and showed me the truth. And you know what? I'm glad I feel this way because I got a beautiful wife that loves me. I got a good family. I've been blessed. And I want to show you the blessing I have. I want to tell other white men and non black men how beautiful and amazing black women are. I want to see black women be with good men, men that take care of them, men that provide, you know, regardless of the color of the man. I just want to see black women be successful. It makes me happy when I see this. You know, and I know it's a love that comes from God because why would I feel this about a certain group of women and a lot of them I don't even know, but I love to see them happy. I love to see them be successful. And maybe that's because black women have lifted me up and made me better than what I ever thought I'd be. My wife's made me, I give her credit for my success because she's been there inside and out. She's always been there for me. She lifted me up when I was down. You know? But anyway, I'm going to drop the link if you want to come up. But I wanted to talk tonight about you know, it was a roast tonight. And this Dennis Sperling guy, I don't have nothing. Well, I'm not going to say nothing personal because when you attack black women, it's personal to me. I just don't like the fact of men attacking women, especially black women, when black women have done nothing but do their best to be there for their men, for their community, for their children, and they get dumped on. I don't like that. And I don't like the excuses. A man with an excuse is a weak man. A man with an excuse is beta. Okay? We don't need excuses. Excuses just makes failure easy to deal with. You know. But anyway. Hey there, pro white male leadership. How's it going?
It's going good, friend.
What?
I'm so glad you see what it is. You see what it is.
It's crazy. It's a clown show. Real. You know this guy, and it's the same old playbook, right? White supremacy is the fault. Black women's at fault. Slavery back in the day. He's talking about Africans conquering Africans and somehow trying to link it in today's world in America. Like, what?
Brent, I've made myself very clear. I just ran back to my Airbnb because I was at happy hour, but I'm not staying long. But listen, Brent, you guys already know what you need to do. I love it. You see what it is, and I want you guys to be who you are. That's it. You already know what I want. White men know what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I just wanted to show people the comments I get and the triggers. And here's the thing. If you're got it so good as a man, why would you care what I say? There are so many channels with black men and white women. I don't even know one name.
Brent. They're conquered, Brent. They're conquered. Do you understand? They're conquered. They're conquered.
Well, it just blows my mind. Like, and then they think it's a diss to tell me, well, I heard white women talk about white men. I'm like, okay, yeah, I hear it all the time. So what? Just like
yeah, they hear white women. Oh, please, nobody got time for that. Everybody knows what women complain about. They complain about. They just want to be their men. That's what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Sweet June, welcome to the panel.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How's your foot?
It's doing okay. Yeah, I got a hairline fracture in my left foot. It's a little bone like towards my arch. And the crazy thing is last summer I cracked it before. I broke it in the same place. The doctor's like, how are you breaking it in the same place? But I think how I'm rolling it, because I rolled my ankle, and I guess it's putting certain amount of stress that it's just cracking it. It's still in place, but I got a hairline fracture, and this is the second time I've done it, and I've done the same injury on my other foot, and I mean, my body's just tore up. The Army really put my body through the ringer, but know, I'm trying the last 9 more years to get my third pension. So I'm trying to build a nice goose egg for me and my wife, but my body's taking a beating. I just
take it easy.
Yeah, but my work is physical. I'm a blue collar guy. I do I have a good job, but I gotta be on my feet. I can't, but I mean, it is what it is. Just do the best I can as long as I can.
Yeah.
So even if I lost it, I'm set. I just want to be more than comfortable. That's the plan. But yeah, but that's what's going on. I mean, I'll probably be off it. They're looking like a month and a half. I'll be on light duty. They have me doing light duty at work. So I come in a little bit in the morning, do a few hours, and but then I'm covered, so, but
that's good.
But yeah, thank God my job covers that stuff. And the good thing it happened on the jobs. I mean,
Okay.
I don't want it to happen at all, but it's better there than at home. But yeah, that's what's going on. But anyway, enough of that. I'm fine. But thank you guys for your prayers and your kind words. I do appreciate that. That means so much to me. It means a lot. It really does. And unfortunate things happen. But Sandy's taking care of me, and
Oh,
I'm exploiting
that's
that. I
good.
mean, I'm appreciating that. Um, yeah, but she's taking good care of
Yeah.
me.
Like I was saying in the chat, I used to work at this daycare, and
Uh
it was
huh.
this little white boy at the daycare. Me and another black lady used to love on him. Oh, he was just the cutest little thing, and we used to love on him. And I said, that's what we need to do: get to the babies, get to the love on
Yeah.
the little babies, and that'll reverse racism. See,
Oh, it
get to them
will.
when they're little.
You get to these little white boys when they're little, and you love on them. They'll marry a black woman. Look, it happened to me. That that teenage babysitter I had when I was 5, she would call me big guy and tell me I was cute and all this because I was so little and give me candy. I was so in love with her. I was like, man, I would just, and that touched my heart. And I still think about it today. And it meant something. And then, I talked about the girlfriend I had in church when I was 10 and she was 9, and we had that little thing going. I was just, and it
Oh
was
wow.
innocent little children, but I I felt love back then, and that was more of an innocent love because I wasn't looking at her butt or none of that craziness. It was just genuine, pure love, and little things in your life impact your life. And people say, "Why do you like black women so much? Why do you love them so much?" And I tell them, and I shared this story with this lady at work. She's a white lady, and I told her, and she started crying. She said, "Oh my God, that is so beautiful," and she just started getting emotional. And then I told her about
Hmm.
my wife and my family, and look, I don't understand why these guys don't see the blessing in black women. Why are they blaming black women? Why don't they? Black women are doing more for their community than any other group of women. They show more love.
Brent,
They
Brent,
show
Brent,
more
I'm sorry to cut
Exactly.
you off. I'm sorry to cut
Okay.
you off. Brent, they're conquered.
Okay. I'm just
I can't. You know how I am. Let me get down from here because I was at happy hour. Let me get down because I don't want
no,
Brent.
I'm just
Just say it, Brent. They're conquered. That's it. It's okay. It's okay now. You guys have every right to just say they're conquered. That's it. That's what you gotta say. They're conquered. That's it. I gotta go, guys. I'm having too
all
much
right.
fun over here.
Okay. Thanks
Okay.
for
Bye
coming
bye.
on.
Bye.
It's good to see you.
Well, see, what I don't understand, that's what I don't understand, because black women are more loyal to black men. Now they deny that, but it's the truth.
It
Black
is.
women are more loyal to black men than they are. They'll deny it in a minute, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And and
Yeah.
and and every time something happens to a black man and get killed by the police or wherever, black women go up to bat. They out there marching for black
Hmm.
men and everything else.
Yeah.
And the black men there's black men that claim that they love us, but what I don't understand, the ones that claim they love us, why aren't they speaking out more? Like I did a video addressing Umar Johnson, telling
Hmm.
Umar Johnson that he needs to start addressing the black men about abusing black women and killing black women.
Hmm.
That I told him he needs to start addressing that instead of worrying about black women's hair, instead of worrying about interracial relationships. He need to be worrying about He need to start addressing the black men more about abusing black women and children because
Yeah.
it's a major problem. The black femicide rate is through the roof, and he's a major spokesperson for black people. He claimed to love. He's passionate about the black race, and I admire his passion. But he needs
Mhm.
to address the men more, and he's worrying about the
Yeah.
wrong thing.
Yeah, and I would say too with black women, quit saying 5'5" thick in the thigh. Just say how beautiful
Yeah,
she is. Hit the
exactly,
point that she's. I mean, we know black women are beautiful physically. Their bodies are beautiful. I get that, but
exactly.
it's like that's all he focuses on, and
Yeah,
it's when he talks about black
and
women.
he's worried about whether we wear our natural. He's worried about our natural hair. Us wearing our natural hair.
Yeah, I just I don't know. This thing about the
And
mermaid thing was like it, and I just wish I don't think he really. How can I say this? He don't research totally because he's saying how can he have a black mom and a white dad and he's white. Um, but in the story they were saying that he was saved at sea by them. They took him in. So you
oh,
could
okay.
yeah, so you can have that. Um, the young
I
lady
haven't
that
seen the movie yet.
yeah, maybe I shouldn't talk about it to ruin it if you want to go see it. But um I think it's a reflection on what's happening in today's world. The interracial community is growing. Um, when we thought about interracial relationships back in the day, we thought of Tyrone and Becky. That's what we seen most of the time. But now black
Right.
women are doing it more often. In fact, they're doing it
Yeah.
more often than black men are. Black men still have more interracial relationships, but it's catching up. And the world's changing. And look, I mean, black women, white men have been attracted to each other all along. It's just we've been told that we're not supposed to like each other. We're not supposed to be with each other. Our cultures are too different. We're different people.
Yeah.
We act like we're like the other is an alien group or another species. No, we're all
Well,
human
it's
beings.
because the history. It's because of the history between blacks and whites in this country.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is, and it's
Yeah.
an ugly history. I get
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
it's a dark history of a lot of evil. I get that. I really do.
Plus,
I just
we're still dealing with racism, so
yeah, and
it's a lot.
we will
Yeah.
till the beginning of till the end of time. But what disturbs me is when I see black men going in on black women for colorism,
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
things like their hair and
Yep.
and telling them that other groups of women are better and
Yep.
that is uncalled for. That's
Yeah. They
actually
say that they say white women are better than us,
yeah that's actually that's like being a white supremacist. These
and I've been
these
hearing that all
men
my life.
these men are acting like white supremacists and then complaining about white supremacy. It's like, dude, you made fun of her because of her skin tone. You said white women are better, and then
Yep.
it's like, and then you blame her for everything in the community, but yet
The
she's supposed to
colorism is
be.
a major.
Yeah, I never knew it was as big as it is.
Colorism is
Till
a major issue in the black community. It's a major issue. A lot of black men don't even like dark black women.
yeah, and that's sad. That's disturbing because and people were saying that white men prefer darker skinned black women, and I says, well, no, I'm sure there's some that do, but really we don't look at black women for skin tone. We look at a black woman as a black woman. And when we're attracted to black women, we're attracted to black women. When I was dating, I never thought, oh, I wonder how dark or light she is. I didn't care. I
Hmm.
didn't even I didn't even
Wow.
I didn't even realize that's a thing. I just seen a black
Yeah.
woman. And I never really thought about it until, well, my grandmother pointed out my wife was dark complected. And then one of my black friends, he pointed that out too. It's like, God dang. I told him, I says,
Hmm.
and this happened the same day. It was right before I married my wife. And I said, you know what? I said, you and my grandmother, I said, I look, she grew up in the 40s and segregation. I know why she said what she did. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I know where it's coming from. But you,
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell are you talking about? And oh man, I was just joking. I didn't mean nothing bad about it. No, but you said it. And it was like
No, he
making
meant it.
fun of me. Yeah. And I'm just like, wow. So there's that transfer of white supremacy. And I tell people this all the time. And some black men get mad at me because I said, well, you're a white supremacist. Why are you complaining about it? What do you mean? Well, you like light skin. You talk about light skinned women and you don't like dark skin. What's a white supremacist do? Put white on, elevate white above everything. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Well,
It makes,
there's a, there's a lot of black men that are black supremacists. They're black supremacists.
well, yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's a lot that believe your racial or ethnic group is superior to others. Uh, there are people in every group that believe that they're superior.
Hmm.
Um, we always have that.
Yeah.
Some people don't take it to the extreme like others do. Like we've had racial violence because people think they're superior, and some, they
Right.
just they talk about it, but they don't resort to violence or they keep it to themselves. But it's the same concept, the same. Um, but I think interracial relationships is going to grow more. I think it's a spiritual thing. I think it's God's plan to bring us together and get us out of that
Yeah.
segregated mindset because nobody benefits from that. I've heard black people say that they want to go back to segregation, but this time it's going to be better. And I say, no, it's not.
Well, let me tell you the reason.
Uh,
But let me tell you the reason why they say that. The reason why they say that is because uh, black people are so divided. We're so divided.
mm,
And before, when everything was segregated, black people were more unified. And then when everything changed, now black people is extremely divided.
mm.
And so that's why a lot of times they say that, because
Oh, they think
we're more
if
divided than we've ever been.
so, if they're forced to be together, they'll be more closer to each other. Right?
Yeah,
I
that's the way it was
Yeah.
back in the day.
Well, yeah,
That's the
you
way
had
it
no
was back in the
choice.
day.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be that way. I don't think you can once it changes, it's changed forever. Um, but what we got to do as people is go for the best option, build your family, build your community, and if we did that, if we all like lived our lives as an individual and chose our own path instead of living in the collective, I think we'd be better off as a nation. And yeah, there's going to be more biracial kids, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Well,
good thing.
God wants all the races to unify. God
Yeah.
wants all the races of people to come together. That's how it's supposed to be,
Hmm.
but that's not how it is in America. Every racial group has it's each to their own, And black people are on the only race that don't stick together, that are not unified.
Yeah.
But God wants all the races of people to be unified. Because think of what we could do if all races of people would come together. Just to think what we could do. We could probably eradicate poverty.
Yeah, you know what?
You
And
know?
you know what? They would have less control over us. Our government would have less control. We would dominate the government instead of the government
Yeah.
dominating us.
I was just
And
I was just talking to a friend about that earlier, and she said the same thing. She said we'd be
yeah.
able to overthrow the government.
Oh yeah, if we were all in sync and we were all as one. Oh my God! You know how powerful we'd be.
Very
We would.
powerful.
Yes. The, these politicians, they'd have to comply to us instead of us to them.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
and and I think sometimes governments, and I think this is around the world, put a little animosity in people. They play people against each other, whether it be racial or economic class or even age, young against old, rich against poor, black against white. I mean, governments have been doing this for years, and it's easier to control people because if we're at each other's throats, they can go in and swoop us up. But if we're unified together, then you got to face everybody, and you can't.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you know, it, unfortunately, I don't see us all doing that.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. Unfortunately, it's
yeah,
sad, but yeah,
but
it's
my thing is I just want to tell the truth, and I want to share my story, and share the blessing I have with my wife, my family, and the beauty I see in black women. I think it's important for me to say this. People say, "Well, that's kind of where you're pandering. You're doing this." No, I'm expressing my love. Um, and I should because and somebody said, "Well, it's weird. You're the only one white guy I've seen say these things," and it catches people's eyes. Like, okay, where's he going? What is he getting out of this? I'm not getting nothing out of it. Is it all? Well, I do, feel love from people because they appreciate what I say. So I do get something out of it. Um,
right.
I'm not trying to hook up with black women. I got my black wife. I've been married 29 years, so it's not about that. Um, it's not a money thing because the money I make, I spend or give it away. I mean, um, this is just how I feel. This is where my heart is. And black women are amazing. They're beautiful. I remember when I was dating,
Yes, we are.
I, I was so in love that I mean, my heart would be racing. I'd be trembling. And I remember that time when I was 16 and I asked this girl out and she took my hand and said, "Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend." And I was like on cloud nine. It was like, I just feel like everything's wonderful at that time. And it's like, and then when later on I married my wife, I remember, man, it was the greatest day of my life. And that's where my heart is. And that's because, and it's coming from God Almighty. I know it is because you don't just feel that for people, especially people you
Right.
don't know, but it's there. It's there's something I see in black women that I've always seen, something that's special, something that's amazing. And I see this
Hmm.
in black women, whether they're young or old, or I see the same beauty. I see the spirit. I see the heart that black women have, the love they have. Um, and when you're in a relationship with a black woman and she loves you, it's like the greatest thing ever. It's actually
Hmm.
a love that comes straight from God. I tell people this, and they
You know,
say, "Well, go ahead."
I was with this guy one time, and I fell head over heels in love with this guy. He didn't do nothing but dog me out.
Oh
I,
no.
I was head over, I was head over heels with him. I would have probably given him the shirt off my back.
Mhm.
And he did. He just he had so many women. He lived in another little small town, and he had so many women over there. He just
Mhm.
dogged me out. and
But
and I know so many good. That's why it bothers me because I know so many good black women. I got good black women in my family. I know
mhm.
so many good black women out there, and most of the black women I know don't even fit the characteristics of what these black men be talking about.
Yeah,
And
I
I went to other cities and met good, nice black women. I went to
Hmm.
LA. I've been to other cities and met nice black women.
Yeah.
It's not just in my city. I've went to other places and met nice black women. There's so
E-
many good black women out there.
there
That's
are,
why
and
it really bothers me when they sit there and generalize and stereotype and bash us the way they do. And a lot of it is coming from a bitter place because they had a lot of some of them didn't have good relationships with their mother. They had a bad experience with black women, and then they just bash the whole race, entire race.
yeah, yeah, that bothers me too because I see so many black women, and they'll email me and tell me, some will share their stories with me. I've had some that I've done Zoom with and talk to them, and my wife Sandy will come on and talk to them. A lot of times when they're emotional and got some like dating issues, I always tell my wife, "Can you come in and talk to this young lady?" And I tell her, "I think it's better you talk to my wife. I'll talk to you, but I don't know." But I see so much of this. Um, and I've seen so many black women
Mm,
that have big hearts that are doing so many things. And
yeah.
and I feel so bad. I just want to hug them, embrace them, and
Hmm.
if I could do something for them to make it better, I wish I could. Um, and then I see these dudes come up and talk about black women like they're garbage. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, really? These women have showed you love like no other, and I see it, and we all
Yeah.
see it. We see
Every
black
time
women.
something happened to a black man, they out there marching.
They do,
Black women are
and
black women are the first one up there.
they are, and I'm thinking, wow. And here's the thing: me as a white man growing up in a white neighborhood, not many black women around, and I could see the true love in black women. And for what little bit I got from black women, well, I'm not going to say a little bit because they have shown me love, but I'm just saying, you have these women in your community that want a husband, that want a father for their children,
Yep.
that want that relationship.
I wanted one
And
for many years.
yeah, and they throw it away for what?
I was a single mother. I hated being a single mother.
Yeah,
Yeah, I prayed for a husband for many years.
yeah. And I think
Yep.
that's why judgment's going to come down on these men. And I tell them the how you treat black women, and I say this to all men, and they think I'm nuts because you just love black women, so you're just going to say these crazy things. No, these women are the least protected, most disrespected,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And they're the most loving, most nurturing, and most hardest
Hmm.
working and most successful. These women are the top of the top,
Yep.
and they're the most spiritual. The most women of faith are black women, and they're talking to God, praying to God, and God is not happy. And if
Yep.
you do not treat a black woman right, God will pass judgment. I say this.
Hmm. Yep.
And if you have children with her and you don't marry her and take care of her, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing it happen in the black community.
And my
These
youngest son's dad, my youngest son's dad only seen him one time. He got me pregnant and bounced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And and that,
he only seen my son one time, and that was because I took him to court with
mm,
me. That was the only time he's seen his father.
see, and that's
Yep,
not right.
he's never been there, and he got I don't know how many other baby mamas too.
Yeah.
But I was stupid for hooking up with him in the first place.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we as people we hook up with people we shouldn't when we're young, and I've done it. Other people have done it. Um, you know, um,
I got a blessed son out the deal. I got a blessed son out the deal, but yeah,
yeah.
his father's trash
Mhm.
or sperm donor. I should I say sperm donor. I feel like I'm giving him too much credit, calling him a father.
Yeah. but the thing of it is and you know what? It's toxic because I hear black men going in on other men for treating women right, calling them simps, and I'm like,
I
what
hate
is
that
that?
term. I hate
I
that
do
term.
too. It's like you're telling them you're weak if you do anything for her.
It's
But
it's almost like it promotes the disrespect of it's like they're promoting disrespect of black women. It's like they're encouraging it. They
yeah,
I hate that.
and and they are because and the thing is to be the pimp and player. That's glorified. Okay,
Yeah.
so what's that mean? You're a player. You mess with different women. You're a pimp. You exploit black women, use them for their resources or whatever. It's I mean, how
Yep.
is that good? That's not good.
Hmm.
And you know what? These guys are not blessed. They're not going to be wealthy. They're not. Their lives aren't going to
Well,
be
you
good.
know
You can look at them.
well, you know they brag and say, well, 50% of black men, if that stat is even right, 50% of black men don't have kids, but yeah, but them the ones that are out here making babies and not taking care of them, making the rest of you guys look bad. Black men get judged as a collective.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm sorry, I had to come back up. That's a lie. 80% of black men have children. What they're trying to do is they're trying to
So,
count the little boys that don't have kids, and they're trying to
oh,
count them as
oh,
black men. That's what they're
oh, that's
doing.
what I heard. That's what I heard. They were counting 15-year-olds. They, they were throwing
And
15-year-olds in the
which is
stat.
a lie because my younger brother had a child. My younger brother is 33 and he has a 15-year-old son. So that's a damn lie.
Yeah.
So if you throw teenagers into the stat, it's gonna make it seem like there's more black men without kids. It makes sense
Yeah.
because not a lot of teenage boys are gonna have kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. Most black men have children by the age of 25 to 26. By 25 to 26, they have children and
Mm.
multiple children. So
That
that's a
makes
lie.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because
But
I kept questioning. I said I don't know about that stat. I don't know because y'all sleeping with the same men that all the other black men women are sleeping with. Or they love to throw that up in our face. They're
well,
sleeping with multiple black women and getting multiple black women pregnant. Y'all get pregnant by the
Exactly,
same guy.
because it's 2 million more of us. So if 70% of us are single mothers, and I'm not a single mother, I'm actually divorced. So, and I don't have absolutely no children. So that doesn't even make any sense. So remember, there's 2 million less black men than black women. So it's one black man getting multiple black women pregnant, and not just black women, but other races of women now too.
Right,
yeah,
right. The
It's
white
the
women.
same ones.
Uh-huh. I think they're
yeah,
getting them pregnant at a higher rate
they are.
than us.
They
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
It's an odd dynamic when black men marry and date out. Their marriage stats go down. The success rate goes down, and it wasn't good with black women, but it's worse when they date out and when they have children outside of wedlock. It's even worse than with black women. Um, yeah, it's like, but
But we're the problem. They keep telling us we're the problem.
yeah, but and that shows the character. But when you see black women date and marry out, their marriage rates skyrocket. They get better, and in fact, black women bring more wealth to white men than any other group of women, and they don't even have to be bringing money into the relationship. It's what they do is they make the white men that they're with better men
Exactly.
by
Exactly.
support, love, and motivating us. And I'm
Hmm.
telling you, and they bring out the best in us. and it's starting to show. We have more wealth than if we marry Becky. And black women, and I'm telling you, black women have, more love and more, they just have more to them. They're just a better option. I know that sounds bad for me to say that. I'm not attacking nobody, but it's the honest to God truth. Nobody loves you like a black woman does. And we say black women are the most race loyal, but in reality, black women are the most love loyal. If she loves you, you're set. Now, if you do what
Yeah.
you're supposed to as a man,
Yep.
there's no
Yep.
worries. You got it. Um, you know, and for the most part, you do. Now, there are some evil black women that will exploit you and use you, yes,
Right.
but
Right.
but
Right.
but the majority of black women are amazing women, and we need to lift up black women, and that's why I
Yeah,
feel I
but
have. Go ahead.
black men have a problem with the fact that we hold them to the fire. We hold
Yeah,
them to the fire and expect for them to be a man and do what they're supposed to do. They have a problem with that. They want to be coddled,
yeah,
and a lot of black women are not willing to do that. We expect you to take care of your kids, be a father, and all that,
hmm,
but they get mad at us because we actually have a lot of us actually have standards. They don't think we're worthy enough to have standards. That's the problem. That's why they got mad at Ebony Williams. They got so mad at her because they don't think she's worthy enough to have standards.
hmm. Yeah. It's
And they just raked that poor woman through the coals just because she said that she don't want to buy. If the man owned the bus is the
yeah,
reason only way she'll date him.
and that was so horrible. I mean, and then that other woman was like, "Well, I'll date a bus driver," and I'm like, "Lady, if you want that, go for it, but don't go in on this woman because look, she's a celebrity, she's a liar."
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
worth almost $1 million. I think over $1 million, isn't she?
yeah, she's a millionaire. So why would a millionaire
Yeah,
woman date a bus driver? That is the dumbest
right.
thing I've ever heard. Um,
Now,
Nobody.
now at my level, I would date a bus driver, but I'm not at her level.
Yeah, but and that's right. I mean, the women I had access before I got married were at my level. There was no millionaire women that are going to give me a chance because I got a good job and I work hard. No, you're
Right.
not at her level, so you shouldn't. I mean, but people don't understand. They get caught in their feelings, like, "Oh, you got to give him a chance. He's a good man. He's working hard," and I'm sure he is a good man working hard. But get that good woman at his level and build
No,
together.
it's too much of a gap, income gap. Because what happens is, if she marries a bus driver, he's going to have a problem with her making so much money. It has
Yeah,
been proven that's been proven time and time again with a lot of these celebrity women. They get with these men that make less money or less status, and the man always has a problem with it, winds up cheating on her and all that kind of stuff. It's not just about the money. It's the fact that the man always 9 times out of 10 always has a problem with it,
yeah,
with the woman making more money and being more successful.
and you know what? You're right, and that's a natural thing. We as men won't feel right if our wives are making more money than us. We just don't. It's and I think it's just a natural thing as men. We
I'm
want to.
sorry to cut you off, Brent. You
Okay,
said men. Just
okay,
remember you said men, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, if and it's not an ego thing. I just feel better if I'm the breadwinner, if I'm paying the bills, if I'm making the money and taking care of my wife and children. I feel like a man, and it's
Right.
and my wife, and women feel like you're providing for them. They appreciate. They feel protected. It's and look, she can make money too. My wife makes good money, but I handle the majority of it. I make more than she does. And it's not about me, look, I'm doing better than you. No, it's about I'm providing and I feel good about it. And she feels good. She sees me come home from work and I'm sore, and she appreciates that. And then she says, get in the
Right.
shower and come lay down on the couch with me. And she'll wrap me up in a blanket and we'll just watch TV or whatever. And it's just
Mhm.
her way of saying, I love you and I appreciate what you do. And she tells me that I appreciate what you do. And she don't have to. That's what I'm supposed to do. But I feel like a man. And if she made more money and she was taking care of things, I would feel less than. I and how I was raised, it would be shameful. And even when I tell people the story when I retired out of the army and I had had a state job and I was going overseas to have a better job, and something medically happened and I lost that job, so I had no job. And my wife was making money and she was doing good. There for a while she was making more than I was, and I felt so low. I felt ashamed. And it wasn't my fault. I bounced back really quick. And you know why? Because I wanted to provide. I wanted to be the one. And my wife would have been okay taking care of, but I wouldn't have been. And that motivated me. And in fact, I ended up better than I was before. And my wife just was like, I know you're going to do this. You're going to make it happen. And, but it is a natural thing. Even if you're a beta male, it's still, you don't feel right. And the woman, believe it or not, she'll love you with all her heart, but there still will be she won't respect you as much if she's, doing it all, you know.
Yeah.
And that does create problems. I always tell people, ladies, be hypergamous, go with the man with the most resources, but make sure he's a man with the biggest heart too that loves you. Um, go for the best. Aim high.
Hmm.
Guys, go to the woman that's either at your economic level or below it. And I say
Yeah.
that, and you're better off doing that. You know, I'm just saying, it's just a
Yeah.
natural
Yeah,
order of
because
things.
I just seen that there's noticed that there's a lot of problems in marriages where the women are more successful and make more money. The
Yeah, it is.
men always have a problem with it.
They do, and
So
it's
she's not wrong for expecting someone to get someone at her level.
Mhm.
She's not wrong for that.
Yeah, and that's why you destroy relationships when you tell women to date and marry down. That never works.
Hmm.
In fact, sooner or later, that's going to fall apart. But in the black community, it has to almost be that way because there's 2 million more black women than black men.
Black men, yeah.
And black women are actually starting to outpace the men with
Yep.
education, with
Yep.
their careers. So
Hmm.
then that creates a problem. So I think
Well, a lot of black women didn't have a choice. They always crying about us being in. Well, a lot of black women don't like. I didn't want to be independent. I mean, I didn't want to be the head of household, but
Mhm.
I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah,
I never went around talking about I was proud to be independent. I didn't want to be independent. I wanted that male head.
Could I say
I didn't
something?
want to. I didn't
yeah,
want to be doing everything myself.
yeah.
It's not that. It's just that black men instill that into black women because they understand they can do less. That's all it is. It's to
Yeah.
create
Hmm.
that mindset. That's all it is. Because I told you, I keep saying to everybody, like, I believe they're not. I'm gonna keep it off a Brent's channel, but you know what I say on my channel. That's it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check out your channel.
Yeah, but
It's very brutal. I'm just letting you know. I just want to warn her.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Black, like I don't bash on my channel, but I speak I tell it like it is, but I'm not one sided. I don't do one sided commentary. I address both sides, but when I address the black men, they always have a problem with it and accuse me of bashing. When I address the women, I get so many views on those videos. Oh, they love it. But I said, I'm not going to just come on here and just be talking about black women and ain't saying nothing about black men. I'm not letting y'all off the hook.
Number one, I don't
But
talk about black women on
they
my channel because black women are a result of failed male leadership, and I go about that on my channel. So there's really nothing to say about black women because black women haven't done anything wrong. The problem is the type of men that we have as leaders. That is the problem. And if you
yeah,
even look at hip hop, you can see that they're acting
yeah,
like them because that is what they are teaching us, and that is what it is. And that's why I say go to better leadership. I keep saying that.
yeah,
I keep saying that, and people are not picking that up. So I don't talk about black women on my channel because black women are not the problem. The problem is that they need better men. That's the
man.
problem.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because God made men the head. And it's like if the women and children are corrupt, and I have said that on my channel many times. If the women and children are corrupt, it's gonna fall back on the men because the
yes,
men are supposed to be the head. God created man first, and that's
yeah,
something they don't understand. It's like, are they slow? Are they slow? Hooked on phonics? What's going on? Do they not? What part of that don't they get? If your women and children are corrupt, then it definitely falls back on the men
yeah,
because the men are supposed to be the head. They're supposed to be the leaders of that community. But you let them tell it. It's the women. It's the women. It's the women. The women are raising the children. Why are the women raising the children by themselves? Why?
And since we're the leaders of the community supposedly, so we're making the decisions now. I mean, I know that you sound like you're older, so there's nothing, but we're making the decisions now. So that's completely fine. Since we're the head of the community, we're going to make the decision. So the decision is to go to another male group, which is white men. That's the decision. That's the decision that we have made, and it is what it is.
And then the thing is too, if black men are not blaming black women, they're blaming the white man for their problem. That's why they don't. That's one of the reasons why they hate to see the two together. Because if they're not blaming the black woman, they're blaming the white man. The white man is the white man that
They're
you can't.
bitter.
Like
They're bitter. They're
I said
bitter.
time and
They're
time again.
bitter.
I
They're
said
bitter.
on my channel. We when are we gonna take when the black people gonna take responsibility and stop blaming white people for everything? White people is not making black men kill black women every 5 hours. White men are not making black men do that. So at some point, when are you going to take responsibility? Back in the
yeah,
old days, black people built infrastructure. It was done. Our people did it before. If we did it before, why can't we do it again? It's because of the men. The men will not. They're so divided. They
I
won't
would have
unify.
to disagree with you. Black women build those infrastructures and they gave the work to black men. That's what happened. Black men never built any goddamn thing. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. And you know that because you could see it today. You can go to any country they dominate, they haven't built a goddamn thing. Okay? And anything they do have, it's because of white or Asian men. It just is what it is. They didn't build anything because they're not capable to. They don't have it in them like that.
Well, black men were different back then, though. Too, though they had a different mentality back then than what they have now.
No, black men have never had a different mentality because what we're seeing right now is a result of the older men's mentality, whether you want to believe it or not. They've never had a different mentality. The only thing is
Oh yeah, I
that
might have to agree with you because my grandfather was
where
messed
you
up too.
think
My
these young
grandfather was
people
messed
are
up
getting
too.
it from? Where you think they're getting it from? Just because they had no choice back then. That's the only difference because of white men. That's it. Because white men had to force them to be a certain way because of the way they were. That's it. But where you think they're getting it from? They're getting it from the older ones. And I know that because I was married to an older black man. They're getting it from
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Because when I think back to my grandfather, we're trying to retrace the family history right now. My mother and my aunt did not have my grandfather in their life, and he was extremely older than my grandmother, and my grandfather was a deadbeat dad, basically. And that was back in the 1930s and 40s.
See, that's the thing with black women. They think because black women were married to black men, that's the thing. Just because you're married doesn't mean anything. The same thing that's going on right now was going on back then. The only difference is that they were married, but they were still going
Yeah,
around doing the exact same thing.
yeah.
And the Monahan reports proves that.
Yeah.
So whatever this whole thing about these good black men that exist, that's a lie. Because the Monahan report proves that's a lie. And that's why we're in this situation right now because of those same men. It's a lie. These
Yeah.
men have always been the same. They are the same as this is why I say I talk about male progression and stuff like that. I'm telling you, they are the same men that they were when they sold us. They are the same. They have never changed. They never evolved. Never.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think a solution is, and I know it sounds simple, but it really is. Open up your options, black women. And I say this, and I tell white men and other non-black men to look at black women. You don't know the blessing she brings. You don't know the love she has in her heart. You don't know how amazing black women are. And I've been saying this for years, and people have thought I was crazy. They thought I was just kind of out of it. But actually, data today is validating things I said years ago. I remember when I got married, I says, black women, white men are the most successful. And it will show. And people laughed at me. Oh yeah, an interracial relationship, yeah, interracial marriage, whatever. But the data's showing it. And not only that, and think about this. We talk about a white supremacy, you know, government and all this. You hear this all the time. And if that were true, why are white men more successful with black women than white women? Why is that happening? Why are black
That's a
women
good question.
the most educated, most successful entrepreneurs in America today? Why are black women leading the way if it's so racist? And I'm not saying racism don't exist. What I'm saying is if black men are being held back, but yet black women can just make it happen. They can adapt and overcome. uh, What's really going on? And I'm thinking, wow. And this stuff is coming to light. And I'm looking at marriage data and I'm like, my story, I have a blessed story. I have a good wife, a good family, and my marriage is successful. But you know what? I'm not the only one. It's not unusual. And people would say, well, and I've heard people say, well, you and your wife are the exception to the rule. No, we're not the exception. We are the rule. Look at your data. Most of us are doing well in our marriages. We lead the way statistically. Black women, white men, we do. It's not just I found a good wife and it worked. What it proves is black women's character is amazing. Black women
Well, they
have.
always say
I, I,
they always say y'all change when y'all get with white men. Y'all change when y'all get. they always say that.
Absolutely. We change because we're actually with real men. They're conquered. Of course we're gonna act differently with men that are powerful, that are intelligent, that are smart.
Right.
Absolutely. They're conquered. They're all conquered. They're conquered. Even the men in my family. I had to curse out my younger brother the other day. They're conquered. They're all conquered. All the same. They're conquered.
Mm.
yeah. Oh, hey, I kind of forgot. Hey, Alexander, sorry, we got the. How's it going? So,
It's going good. It's going good. I was just enjoying y'all the conversation, and and I agree. I mean, it's like black men. They choose to make excuses rather than to go ahead and better themselves. And I was scrolling on YouTube, and again, Dennis Sperling has black women in his mouth again, and this time he's saying that black women are chasing down black men who are passport bros. What in the world is wrong with black men?
He
Do they
lied.
I already told you what was wrong with them. I made it very clear what is the problem.
Nobody cared nothing about them passport bros.
Okay. I
yeah,
asked my younger brother to leave and he won't even leave. So, I want them to all be
Maybe
gone.
if
I
more,
don't want them here. I
maybe
don't want them here.
maybe the black femicide rate will drop if a lot of them will ship out.
Absolutely. That's why I asked them to leave. But for some strange reason, black male worshippers still want them here.
yeah.
If they
Well,
hate you know what? If they hate black women, I don't want them here. To be
yeah,
honest, if they hate black women, I don't want
yeah.
them here.
I agree
Ship
with that.
out.
If you hate black women, leave the country. Yeah, I agree. There ought to be a law. If you hate black women, you've got to leave. Um,
Bye.
yeah, but let me tell you. Hey, let me tell you about these passport bros. Okay, what kind of man leaves his country to go look for a good wife in another country? Like, there's so many good women in this country here. Look, white men can marry black women and be successful in a marriage.
There's
With
something wrong with them. Of
yeah,
all the races of women, all the races of women in the United States, you can't find a good one. The problem lies with them. With all these
yeah,
different races of women here, and you ain't getting along with none of them, that's a problem.
yes, it's the men. It's not the women. You could go overseas and get with women, and yeah, they'll flock to you because you got money because they see you as an American. They see you as wealthy, even though you're not in your country, but to them you are. Okay, so yeah, they're going to pay attention to you. You're going to be, it's going to seem like they're attracted to you. But really, you're not going to get a good woman unless you're a good man, unless you have character. Money don't do nothing except, you can manipulate people with money, but do they really love you?
But I
I,
heard they were going, but I heard that they were going. A lot of them were going over there and causing problems in these other countries with these women.
well, yeah, because they're
Hello. Black men causes problems everywhere they go. You haven't realized that yet? Look what's the situation we're in right now. When haven't they ever? What era and time they've never caused problems? It's always been them. They are the problem. Every era, every time, they are the problem. It's always been them. They are the problem.
yeah, and let me tell you that the passport bros look, um, they're dumb. They're getting drugged, they're getting robbed. These women are exploiting them like no tomorrow. There's a scam
Yeah,
going on these passport bros. And
yeah, they
look,
getting robbed over there. They setting them up.
and look, I spent time in the military and I've been overseas and I've seen men fall for like foreign nationals that cling to these men because you go to a third world country, women are going to be interested in you just because you're an American. And I've seen this. I've seen soldiers marry these women like in third world countries. And the Philippines was a big one. They would marry these women, and some would find true love, and some wouldn't. Some would be exploited. They get to the United States and bounce on them. But you got to understand, if you ain't got it in your own country, if you're not a man that women want to be with where you live, what makes you think you got any more value in another country? You
Yeah,
don't have more value, you just have more money. But once that runs out, once they get where they want to be, how much value do you have as a man to them? It's about character. It's not about going somewhere else and finding more submissive women. No, women are women all over. Okay.
hmm,
And if you want to find a good woman, you got to be a good man and you got to go about it the right way. Going overseas to
exactly.
a poor country, I mean, what are you going to get? I'm just saying, what is this passport bros even doing for them? Oh, American women are not traditional anymore. They're bad. So my
Listen. I'm sorry to
yeah,
cut you off, Brent. They're going over there. They're unaliving them, and that's it. We don't
yeah,
gotta say nothing else because they're
and,
not
and
there. That's the whole point of them. Listen, especially when they go to these Spanish-speaking countries, those men over there. Trust me, okay.
yeah, they're
Listen,
not. And here's
yeah,
the thing.
okay. Poppy will handle them. Trust me. It is what it is. Let them go over there so they can get rid of them. I'm sorry,
What
guys. I
what
might have to get off this live. I might have to take this show to my channel.
we'll have a part two at your channel. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah. They
yeah,
keep no. Nobody cares. They keep bragging about. The problem is they want black women. They want black women to care, but a lot of black. I don't see no black women on YouTube complaining about passport bros.
no.
Why do you want the brokest conquered man anyway? I don't understand that. It's like I've been waiting for them to just leave. And it's like once I found out like I don't gotta be with them anymore, it was like, oh, it's like, yeah. It's like you don't understand. It's like it's you don't understand. Like we want you to go. Well, some of us obviously, but the black male worshipers want them to stay. I don't understand why. They don't even like us. Why you want them here? They don't do nothing for
Right,
us.
right.
Everything that we need white men, everything we get from white men, that is the men that we need to focus on. We don't care about black men. We don't want them here. We
Yeah.
don't want them here. I don't understand. I'm not making them. I don't want them here. Let me get down from here. I'm sorry, Brent. I
No,
gotta
you're
take
good. You're good.
shit.
Um, what I would say is I think they go over there because this is what happens. They got money and their money's worth a lot more in a third world country. So they feel like a baller. Women are clinging to them. They got the money. They're living that fantasy they wish they had in the United States. Um, and that's basically what it is. I would say that's what it is. Because a lot of these dudes are getting mixed up with prostitutes and they're not going to a church and finding a good, wholesome, loving woman that's going to be a good mother and wife. No, that's a cover for what they're really doing. They ain't looking for a wife and a good mother
They
to their
meeting up with a
children.
bunch of hookers.
Yeah, that's
That's what they
basically
do
what it
over
is.
here. That's what they do over here. The only difference here and over there is that the girls here want more money than over there because
Hmm.
their currency is less. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? That's it. I mean, it's pimp culture. That's the culture that these men have created, and they have the nerve to try to make it seem like black women are just out there like that for no reason. No, because that's what these men have taught us. Even in our family, they taught us that. I'm sorry. Let me.
You're good, pro. Yeah.
This is what they taught us. They taught us. Black men taught black women to be whores because that's what they like, and most of the black women they marry are whores. It's the truth. I'm just telling you what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it in their music. You can see it in hip hop now.
Yeah. Well, black men being over sexualized is a big problem in the black community. Black men are over sexualized, and it's created a huge problem in the black community. They have no self control, and that's why we got all these children running around here with no fathers. They're shooting up the neighborhoods. It's these young teenagers out here that's shooting up the neighborhoods and stuff. Where the fathers at?
Yeah.
It's because black men are over sexualized. They have no self control.
It has nothing to do with them being over sexualized. It's just that is who they are. That's a part of their character. It's just in them. It's just in them. It's their DNA. I know I'm not supposed to say that. It's their DNA. It's just in them. It's just who they are.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, you know, when you get in a relationship, and I don't mean to go, well, I do mean to go there. When you really love a woman, okay, and you're committed, you have to touch more than her body. You have to touch her heart. You got to be all the way committed. And I think that's what makes our marriages more powerful with black women, white men, is we go beyond the sexual attraction. And I think Tyrone and Becky, it's mostly lust. And I know people are going to give me hate for that. But from what
It's
I
not
see,
hate, Brent. It's the truth. It's just lust. That's all it
yeah,
is.
and don't get me wrong, we have look. I've always had desire for black women. I'm a man. That's a natural thing, but there's a time and place for everything. But when you have true love, all that other stuff falls in place. But when it's just a lustful thing or an ego thing, or it ain't going to last. And I think, and a lot of times with these betas, I always said, you know, it's like they're on a lust fest with white women. It's almost like, hey, I got the white man's woman, and you know, it builds their ego, and you know, it's not. I don't think a lot of them are looking at it. Oh, well, she's beautiful. I want her to be my wife. I want to have a family with her. But with us white men, it's more like my desire for black women was more than physical. I remember fantasizing before I was dating of having a black wife, having a family. I seen. Is it that white men and black women we see beyond the physical attraction, but beyond the sexual thing, and that's why it works? Where our counterparts dive into the sexual part and don't think of
Yeah,
nothing else.
most black men get with white women because they it's either they're trying to prove something to the white man or the black woman, either one
Yeah.
way or the other. They put the white women up on the pedestal and stuff like that. It's most of the time it's not for the right reasons, and I think that's why those relationships are not successful.
It doesn't matter
Or
what it's for. It doesn't matter what it's for. The whole thing with me, when it comes down to them being with other groups of women, is they're polluting their gene pool and not ours. Okay? That's all that matters at this point. I don't like to say that, but you know, I mean, they're in the population, so that's a problem. I've made it very clear what needs to happen. I made it very clear. And some of you don't like it. I'm sorry to say it on your channel, Brent, but I've made it very clear what needs to happen here. I made it very clear what the problem is. Okay? It doesn't matter who they're with or what they're doing. I don't care about that. Okay? They don't want to be with us. That's fine. We don't want them anyway because they're conquered and they're broke and they're getting beat up anyway by white men. So I'd rather be with the men that's conquering you. That's my mentality. Call it whatever you want to call it.
All righty. No, I appreciate that, and being honest. I think, I just this whole thing, I just, what are we doing as a nation? I just think, gosh, there's so many. I always said black women are that hidden treasure. And they're amongst us in our neighborhoods, and they're around us everywhere. We work with them, we live with them. And I think a lot of white men or other non-black men don't really see what black women, the true black woman. They see what a representation of the media, of what black men say about black women, and they don't. And my thing is I want to tell the truth. I want to tell how amazing black women are. And I want other men, white men and other non-black men, to see black women. I want to see the marriage rate with black women go above 27%. I would like to see it go above 50%.
Yeah, I would like to see it go up too.
I want to see the standard of beauty be the black woman. And in reality, the standard of beauty is the black woman. Let's not kid ourselves. People are doing surgeries to look like black women. I'm just saying. The black woman is the standard of beauty. It's just we won't admit it yet. And why? What is wrong with us that we won't accept the truth? What? And I think it's black men that are the problem, because if black men would demand that black women were the standard of beauty, today in America, the most beautiful woman would be considered the black woman. Okay? And everybody would agree to this. But because black men tear down black women, even though black women are the most beautiful, most successful, all that stuff I say all the time, and it's obvious, they're not given the title they deserve. And why not? That really drives me crazy. I don't understand it. I can't wrap my hand around it.
At this point, they've always been the problem. That's how I see it. I mean, you can look throughout history and see they have always been a problem. But the thing is like I said, I think that most groups of men have been a problem, but they have progressed over time. And I go into that all the time. But these men, there's some. It's just who they are. It's just in them. It's just in them to just be evil. They're evil. And their mothers are just, I don't want to say it, but their mothers are just like them. Just like them.
Yeah. Do we have a troll going through? I'm looking at the comments, and there was some deleted ones. And there's some held for review. I don't know. That's kind of, but yeah. You know what, guys? I would just say, you know what? We got to keep this message going. And look, as long as I can do YouTube, I'm going promote interracial relationships with black women, white men. And I'm going to share the blessings I have with my wife, and the stories I have with black women, how black women have loved me, and how they have blessed my life. I'm going to continue to say that, and I'm going to continue to express my love for black women. I'm not going to stop at that. I know people out there tell me, if your life was so good, why do you got to talk about it? Why? Because people need to know when there's a blessing. People need to know the best option. People, and sometimes people don't see the truth. Sometimes people don't see what's really going on. And sometimes there's people like me and others on YouTube that got to tell the truth. And I know it sounds radical, and I know I'm labeled as a racist because I go in on these black males and call them beta kings because that's what they are. I don't care. I'm going to tell the truth. And if you really love black women, you have to stand up for black women against everybody, against black men, white men, even your own family. And we need to do this, and we need to promote this, and we need to tell the truth. And like I said, you will be judged how you treat black women. I guarantee it. I don't care if you date her, marry her, or have anything to do with her. If you treat her wrong, you're going to be held in judgment. I do believe that. You can't tell me I'm wrong. There's too many black women that are hurting, that are too good of women to go through what they go through. And I tell you what, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep, and you can see it's crazy or pandering or creepy. I don't give a damn. I'm going to express how I feel, and it's my right to do so. And in my heart, in my life, black women, my life revolves around black women. It really does. If I took my last breath and you read my storybook of my life, you would see black women in every page. That's how much impact black women have had in me. And black women have had an impact on my faith and my dating, my marriage, and how I am as a human being. Now, did they control me? No, but they had a big influence. And it led to the path I chose. And let me tell you, I don't think I could ever be as blessed as I was taking any other path. In fact, I know I wouldn't be. So, for all these betas out there that are throwing away their blessing, just know judgment is coming. Just know you will be held accountable. You have the most beautiful women on earth. And I'm talking about spiritually, emotionally, physically, and everything. The woman with the biggest heart, the most nurturing, the most spiritual. And you throw that away, that just shows you're a fool. That just shows you're an idiot. But, and that's the truth. And if you're going to throw away that blessing, I see the blessing. I want that blessing. I want the black woman to love me like she's loved you. I want to embrace her and tell her how beautiful she is. I want to tell her how amazing she is. I want to put her on that pedestal like my father and my grandfathers have done for the women in our community for centuries. I will do that. The only difference is my pedestal has a black woman on it. And more men that, like me, that open up their options, they're starting to find out that there's no other love that's more beautiful than the love from a black woman. And you know what? I'll say that till I take my last breath. And, I'm going to be closing soon. But I just want to thank you guys for coming on the panel. Sweet June, Pro-White Leadership, Alexander, I want to thank you for being part of this. And, I just, the whole reason for this channel It is to promote a marriage, the most successful marriage, and to tell people what the best option is, to show people the best option. And right now, the best option for any group of men is black women. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, she is the best option. And we need to start acting like she is, and we need to start showing her love. And if you love black women, you need to speak out. You don't need to be silent and just live your life and be comfortable. No, there needs to be more white men speaking up for black women, more Asian men
I
speaking up
agree.
for black women, more Hispanic men speaking up for black women. We need to do
Yep.
this. And you know what? We need those unicorns to start speaking out for black women. Okay? Let them call you a simp. Simp means you're simply
Exactly.
doing what God commanded you to do as a man. God commands
Hmm.
you to take care of the women in your community. God commands you to marry them and take care of them and the children.
Hmm.
That's simply
That's right.
doing what God commands a man to do.
That's right.
The pimp and player comes straight out of hell and needs to go back to where he came from. Because black women, they deserve better than what they got. And in my opinion, I don't. There ain't many men that deserve to be with a black woman, myself included. So we need to wake up and see what the true blessing is, and we need to quit being betas and get off our ass and do what's right. And until we do that, we're going to continue to go downhill. So, you know, but anyway,
Yep.
I'm gonna have to close, guys. It's getting late, but I love you guys. Thanks for coming on. And look, and I know there's the men in my channel. I know you kind of sit back and watch and observe, but come on the panel, come up here and express your love for black women. Okay, it's not pandering. It's just showing you love them. Okay, they're going to call you that to shame you so you don't say nothing. Okay, there's plenty of these beta kings out there trashing black women. Nobody checks them on that. So if they check you on being nice and showing love for black women, let them do it. But we need to do this. We need to see. I want to see. I would love to see more channels with white men showing love for black women, speaking up for black women, taking on these beta kings and telling them they're full of crap. Okay, I would love to see more of this because
Yeah, me too.
you know we need this.
Right
And I
now, that's really, I'm sorry to cut you off, Brent. That's up to
yeah
black women for that to happen. I already know that white men are already ready. So that's black women right now.
yeah, and they're going to say you fetishize black women, and but you know what?
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know what? Our marriages last longer with black women. I have people calling me a fetishizer with my wife. Wow, a fetishization that lasts 29 years. Okay. Well, if that's a fetishization, my fetishization has more power than your love for black women because all you're doing is pump and dumping. So, I mean, it is what it is. Um, but anyway, I'm going to have to close,
And they
guys.
think that's cool.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm going to have to close, but I'll go around and you guys give your closing statements. And I do want to thank you. You know, and look, black women, let me say this. I love you. I truly love you, black women. I do. I pray for you. I think you're amazing, the most beautiful women on earth. And look, you have shown me what love truly is. You have shown me how to give love and receive love the right way, a spiritual way, a love that comes from higher up. Black women have shown me that. And I love you for that. And you know what? I'll love you till I take my last breath. And you know what? I think black women are the key to making our nation better, to making our communities better. And I would say to black women, you know what? Be with the man that loves you. Be with who you love that loves you. Go for the best option. You're not obligated to the black community or your family or any of that. And I'm not saying cut ties with your family. No, I'm just saying you don't owe them nothing, black women.
I say cut ties with them.
Okay.
Trust me. Cut ties with them. Trust me.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, black women, put yourself first. Okay. You are the prize. You are the treasure. Okay. And if a man don't see you as treasure, kick him to the curb. But Sweet June jumped off. I don't know if she fell off or whatever. She could come back on if she wants. I'm gonna go around and you guys give your closing statements. And I want to say Happy Father's Day out there. All the men that are fathers, and ladies, show love to your father and your husband. That it's Father's Day is a beautiful thing, and unfortunately, not everybody has a father at home. Okay, but if you're blessed to have a father that loves you and that just you know protected you and your children and was a good man, just show him some love. And I know you will. And I would just say, Happy Father's Day. I'll be calling my father tomorrow. My son already wished me a Happy Father's Day. And my daughters did. I'll be spending some time with my father. And I'm blessed to have a father. Look, my father was 19 when I was born, and he didn't bounce on my mother. He married her, and that marriage didn't work, but he was always there, and he raised me, and I thank God for my father. But anyway, guys, have a good night, and Pro White Leadership, I'll let you go ahead and go first and give your closing statement.
Thank you, Brent. Well, guys, I'm going to have my fun, but yeah, I just had to go back to my Airbnb and let you guys have it, but yes, I'm going to go back out and have some more fun, but I might do an open panel tomorrow. So watch out for that. I might. I'm not sure right now. Let me see what goes on.
Okay. If you do, let me know.
Absolutely.
I'll be there.
Really let it rip over there.
Okay. Sounds good.
I can't.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you for coming on. It's always good to have you on the panel. Always good to hear from you. All right, Sweet June. Thank you for coming on. It's good to have you on the panel. Always good to hear from you. Okay, we got an echo.
And my phone shut off.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Alexander, if you want to give your closing statement, and then we'll let June go.
Okay. Yeah. And the men. I would say, black women. The time for fighting for the black community, that's over. Stop fighting for the community when you know that the men ain't gonna fight for the community. If they do, they will fight to subjugate you. And again, there are black men like me who will fight for black women, but when you really look at it, it's not enough of us that would do that, because the majority would rather, mm, again, bash black women and make money off
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Alexander. You're the diamond in the rough, brother. And I appreciate your
Oh yeah.
work and your channel. And thank you for coming on. It's always good to hear from you. Um, yeah. But yeah, thanks, Alexander, for coming on. A lot of good points. And like I said, Alexander has his channel. And, the name of the channel is his name. And he has a lot of good content. He has an awesome channel. So go over there and show him some love. And he loves black women. He does. Look, he fights for black women, and he'll throw himself on the sword for black women. He's not one of these guys that are trying to get anything out of black women except to show you love. Um, you know, but thank you so much, Alexander. And sweet June.
Well, bottom line is, I mean, I want the black community to be unified, but it's probably not going to happen. But the bottom line is, I want black women to be happy. I want black women to be happy. I want black women and children to be safe at
Mhm.
any means necessary. If that means going outside the race, whatever. I'm just I want black women to be safe, happy, secure. I'm getting tired of seeing black women suffer. I'm getting tired of seeing black women being bashed. I'm getting tired of seeing black women being abused and killed. And I'm advocating for black women on my channel. I'm gonna start advocating for black women more on my channel. And yes, more black men and white men. I love to see more white men speak out. I absolutely would love to see more white men speak out about, you know, have enough courage to come forth and speak out and call black men out. It's not, and I think a lot of them are afraid they're going to be labeled as racist, but
Yeah,
that's not that's not being racist. It's not being racist. Let call it like you see it.
yeah, and it's not
Mhm.
racist. It's the absolute opposite. Uh, and people call me racist for sharing my love for black women. That's the weirdest thing. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
And they do that to shame you to where you stop talking about it because they don't
yeah,
want to see black women, white men get together and be successful. Um,
yeah. But
and
I'm yeah. I want to see black women protected. I want to see black women taken care of and provided for. I want nothing but the best for my black sisters. If that means
Mhm.
going outside the race, okay, so be it.
Yeah,
Maybe get the best man, get the best man for the job.
yeah,
But bottom line, this things need to change. All this
yeah.
abuse of black women, discrimination, bashing black women, all that stuff needs to stop. Killing black women, now they're killing children. Every
Unaliving.
time I turn around, I'm seeing another case. Every time
Yeah,
I turn around, I'm seeing another case. And it's most majority of them are black men that's doing it.
yeah,
So something needs to be done. I want an anti-hate bill passed on for black women. That's what I want.
yeah. There's legislation that's being passed. I know Minnesota has passed some legislation to protect black women and black girls. Um,
Yeah,
how well it's going to work, we don't know yet. Hopefully, it'll have an impact. And um,
yeah,
I would just say the
yeah.
black, yeah,
Something definitely needs to be done at the federal level.
Yeah.
Something that definitely needs to be done because all women deserve protection, not just singling black women out. But the problem is when things happen to black women, nobody cares. It doesn't make nationwide news, and black women need to. Black women deserve to be protected just like any other race of women.
Yes. And
And
that's
so,
true. That's true. And we need to put more emphasis on black women. And people say, well, why
yep,
you got to focus more on black women? Well, because they're the ones that are being assaulted the most, right?
yeah,
And I'm not saying neglect the other women. No, no, no. But what I'm saying is
no,
we're putting more emphasis on white women and little girls. And let's be honest, we
yeah,
do. It makes
yeah,
national news, and they're the least being um, attacked, right? But black women are the
yep,
most that are being attacked and missing and
yep,
unalived. And it's like we
yep,
give them the least amount of protection. What are we doing? Something is wrong here. Um,
yep.
and I blame well everybody. Um, you know what? What was that uh, little girl that was missing? Um, she was a white girl. They found her, but they kidnapped her, and I mean, it was all over the news, 24/7. And but there was a black girl that was missing from Chicago or somewhere, and it only made the local news and
It's the
very
local news.
very few
Yep,
stories in the national
yep.
media.
It, it,
And
it's
there, yeah, there's a problem with that. That there's something going on. And
there's over 65,000 black women and children missing.
yes, and we're not addressing it. I mean,
Yep,
I don't get it. Um and the
and that's
media is
because they
not.
don't care.
And you know what? The media needs to pick this up and run with it and not
Yep,
worry about their ratings and all that. Something needs because actually we know black femicide's going on, but how many people really know this or pay attention to it? And when
exactly,
you don't see it
exactly.
on the news, you don't know
You
what's
don't see it on the
happening.
news. Yep,
White people in Montana don't know nothing about black femicide because they don't see it on the national news.
right.
Um, white people in the suburbs don't even think about it because they don't see it.
They don't see it. Yep.
They don't, but they
So
see.
it needs to.
Yeah, everybody needs to know about this.
Yeah,
Everybody,
they need to address it at the federal level. I mean, the national news need to address it.
yeah, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all
Yep.
them news organizations need to focus on this. I don't care if they're on the right or left or whatever their political issue is. They need to focus on this because this is a national disaster. This is our national treasure being taken away, being exploited,
Exactly.
being unalive. Black women are our national treasure. They're part of our country. They're a group of women we need to protect. It's not black men's responsibility anymore. It's America's responsibility, which
That's right.
it always should have been that anyway. We don't
Yeah.
we don't just say, okay, black men, that's your women, you take care of it. We're going to do our thing. No, that's a bunch of BS. We need to all get involved because
Right.
I mean, this is our country. These are our citizens, and we need to
Exactly.
treat them at an equal level. And because they're exploited and harmed the most, we need to focus more on them. And
Yep.
that's not being biased. That's just handling the problem at the root. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we could fix the problem that's going on with black women and girls, I think that would make all women and little girls safer. I do believe that.
Right.
It would
Right.
benefit us all, but we don't do
Yeah.
that. The media don't cover it. The local news does. And you know what? I've done stories about black women being unalived in these stories, and and it's like it only happens. You only hear about it in local news. Like I'll have to go to Chicago news or Detroit or LA or
Right,
New
right.
York to hear these stories, because I don't hear them on CNN. I don't hear it on Fox News.
Hmm.
I don't hear it on these other
Exactly.
stations. I have to actually go to the local stations, and I
To the
subscribe to a
local
lot of
station.
I subscribe to a lot of these local stations, like in
Hmm.
Chicago, Detroit, LA, New York, Florida, or
Hmm.
wherever, because that's where I get the stories that I cover, because I don't see it on Fox News. I don't see it on CNN. I don't.
Exactly.
Unless it's a wealthy black woman, a high profile, you're not going to see it. If it's an everyday
Hmm.
black woman just living her life and something happens, the local news is the only one that covers it.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
it's the media's fault.
Now, see,
It's and not just the
I
media.
do like,
It's Go ahead.
I like Angry Biracial. He's doing a great job of bringing these cases,
Yeah,
highlighting these cases. There, there's a lot of them are so horrific. I'm so scared to click on some of them because they're so horrific. But he's doing a great job of bringing those stories to light. And I try to talk about some of them on my channel, but it's so many of them that I can't keep up with them all.
yeah.
So I'm
I
starting to think I might have to devote a whole channel just for black femicide. There's so many
right.
cases to the point to where I can't. It's hard to keep up with them all.
Yeah,
And by them not making national news, a lot of times I get on YouTube. That's the only time I hear about a lot of these cases.
yeah. And it's sad. It shouldn't be that way. Um, yeah.
And these black men on YouTube that the positive ones,
Hmm.
they're not. They need to do a better job of speaking out
Yes.
about these things, and they're not doing it. And that's the problem
Yeah,
that I'm having.
and yeah, it is. And you know what? If we speak about it more, will that solve it? Well, no. But could it help? Yes, potentially.
Well,
You
we're
get the
spreading awareness. We're spreading awareness about it.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, yeah, we're
how about
spreading awareness about it.
how about if a politician gets a hold of this? And see, politicians are corrupt. I think they're snakes, right?
Yeah, they are.
But but
Yeah, they're
whether
correct.
they got a D or an R, they're corrupt, right? But
Hmm.
I think about this: if we spoke about it so much and it became a popular thing, like the black femicide,
Hmm.
maybe a politician would get hold of that and say, you know what? Here in California, I'm going to stop the femicide. I'm going, you know, go in on crime and protect black women and little girls, and and that can have an impact, even
Right.
in a
Yeah, that
even with a corrupt politician, because if he's able
yeah,
to
that can
pass
make a powerful
legislation,
impact.
if he's able to pass legislation that actually cuts down in the percentage of the black
Exactly.
femicide rate,
Exactly. That would carry a
regardless
lot
of
of weight.
what party he or she would be in, they get reelected. I think that would be an impact.
Because I'm still a small YouTube channel, so only so many people is gonna get it from me because still a small YouTube channel. But
Well,
more
hey,
some of these big YouTubers need to be speaking out against it.
yeah,
Need to
and
be
you know
talking,
what,
spreading awareness.
and you know what, more small channels talk about it, and then the
Yeah.
medium-sized channels, and then the bigger channels, and then the real big channels. Maybe if we all created like some kind of chain reaction. Maybe it could grow into
Right.
something awesome. And
Exactly.
but yeah, we don't talk about that. And I think a lot of things, and maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe they keep some of this hidden because they don't want the black man's image to be tarnished. Because if we looked at who does it the most, could that be an impact? You know,
Well,
I
I
wish.
mean, yeah, yeah. It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
if
mostly being done by black men. I mean, it is what it is.
yeah,
I mean,
but maybe it's not covered as much because maybe the news media says if we really harp on this, um, we don't want to make a perception that all black men are doing this. But
right? Yeah.
that's not saying they're all doing it. It's just holding the ones
No,
accountable that are doing it.
that are doing it. Yeah. I mean, too many black women are losing their lives. We don't have time to sugarcoat or be worried about
We
people's
don't,
feelings.
and
It's too
we
many
don't.
black women and now black children are being unalived.
Yeah,
This
and
this man, this angry biracial, just did a video about this man unaliving his girlfriend and her son over the TV, over the freaking TV.
yeah,
They were fighting over the TV, and he unalived her and her son.
wow.
Now, why did he have to take the baby out? He didn't have to take the baby out.
I
And
don't
then when
understand.
they went to court, he made 50 million excuses as to why he did it. He wouldn't. As usual, they don't take accountability. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a core to a lot of problems. An excuse, and I thought about this. Back in my day, my father would not let me use an excuse, even if it was a good one, even though it was not my fault. It was like he still blamed me. You know what I mean? And I was like, I never understood it. I was just, my father was just hard on me like that. Um, and now that I think about it, it's making sense to me because an excuse is a dangerous thing. An excuse is something that will weaken you. It is something that will
Mm-hmm.
destroy you, even if it's not your fault. Because think about it, if it's not your fault, you're not at wrong. How can you improve when you're doing everything right? And
That's
that's what I
true.
mean. And when people use the excuse of um, some of these betas, they'll say, well, it's white supremacy, the man's holding me back, I can't get this. Then those are excuses. Whether it's justified or not, it's still an excuse,
Yeah,
right?
they're
So
excuses. Yeah,
so my thing is if you don't have that excuse, okay, maybe there was some racial thing that happened and you couldn't get that job and it was a crappy deal, but you dust your feet off, you pull yourself up and you keep moving till you're
get another one.
successful.
Well, I
Yeah.
was I was forced to I was forced to resign from a job because of racism. But what did I do? I went out and got another job.
Yeah, but you could have used it as
And,
an excuse. It's not your
and
fault.
God
Yeah.
opened up another door for me, and I went right into another job.
Yeah. But you did what you had to do. But if you could have used that as an excuse and you've been justified, but then
Exactly.
you don't improve, then you sit at home without a job, and it's like, okay,
I had two boys to think about. I didn't have time for that.
yeah, that's it, and that's the thing, and I think my father was harsh on me because he never wanted me to have an excuse, and he tells me that excuses are bad. And it was almost like he wanted it to be my fault so I can improve. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
about it, that makes perfect sense.
yeah, it
And
does.
because I hate excuses, even if it's justified, I hate it. It's
You
like,
know, and see the thing is, racism. Yes, it is an obstacle.
yeah,
But if God is for you, who can be against you?
That's right.
God will make a way. If you willing to go out there and you put forth the effort, God will make a way.
Mhm.
He will. Like Tyler Perry always says, all you need is that one yes from God. That's all you need.
Yep.
No matter. So is at the end of the day, we can't use racism as an excuse. We
Yeah.
still got to move forward, because if God is for you, who can be against you? You know,
And
this door might have been closed. Like I said, that door was closed, but I was able to walk right into another one.
could it
So
be
that's
that that racism was there and God let it be there to push you away from a bad situation to a better one, to a good situation?
probably,
Maybe the
yeah,
people
probably.
maybe the people were just evil people and God let a little racism get in there to keep you from being part of that organization till you go to a good
Yeah, they were
organization.
evil.
No, but that's just what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah,
look, life is unfair. Life is cruel. Some of us are more privileged than others. It just that's life. You cannot give
yeah,
up or quit because you're not getting the same treatment as the guy or lady next to you. You still got to
right.
fight to win, and you will win at the end of the
Exactly.
day. God will bless you. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, well, yeah. Let me go ahead
Yeah.
and end this. I got a big day tomorrow. We're going to have a Father's Day a day. My wife and daughter want to take me somewhere. A
Okay, you
surprise.
have a happy Father's Day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Happy Father's Day, man.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. Um, hey, thank you guys for coming on. Alexander, Sweet June, thank you so much.
Okay.
Um, pro white male leadership, thank you, young lady. It's always a pleasure. If you're still listening, I know she's having fun. But guys, look, I love you guys. And this was a roasting tonight, but then we drifted a little bit. But I just
Hey,
want you
yeah, I
to,
missed the beginning. I have to go back and watch the beginning. I missed the
yeah,
beginning
I
of it.
I just want you to I want you to see what these trolls put in the comments and what they think about my channel, interracial relationships. Um, you know, and I wanted to roast them a little bit about that and just tell them, look,
Yeah, he's trying to be like Kevin Samuels. He's trying to be another Kevin Samuels.
who's that?
Dennis Sperling.
Oh, Dennis Sperling, yeah. That I just the stuff he was saying was so ridiculous. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's trying to be like Kevin Samuels.
yeah, it's like, but it didn't make sense. What happened in Africa have to do with black women today? How does that link? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? I think he's trying to say that black women are diabolical and just scheming, and they're not like that at all. Um, but I just have to talk about that, and I just wanted to show you guys the
Yeah,
comments I get.
he's just another uh, black man on YouTube that wants to get paid bashing
Yeah,
black women.
yeah, and unfortunately, that's where the money's at. I
It-
mean,
uh, yeah, it's very lucrative. It's a big money maker, and YouTube don't have a problem with it.
well, they want to make money, right?
But
No,
see, but see, this is my issue. If you come on here talking about any other group, don't come on here talking about Jews. Don't come on here talking about LGB, or even if a
well,
black person talks too much about white people, they gonna shut them down. They gonna shut them down. But they don't have a problem with these black men coming on here consistently bashing black women. They don't seem to have a problem with that.
yeah.
But some of these
Well,
other groups, they are not going to allow you to come on here and bash some of these other groups. They are not going to allow it. They're going to shut you down.
yeah, and you know what? We need to balance this out. Why not have channels that are, counteracting this hatefulness, protecting black women? uplifting black women. You know, I've had black women tell me, they send me emails and say, "Thank you for what you do." One lady says, "You know, I was listening at work, and the stuff you were saying was just so uplifting. It made me feel good. It made my day." And I'm like, "Wow, really?" I mean, um,
Yep.
and you know what? Why not show love? I mean, why not show love to black women? I'm married to a black woman. Why wouldn't I love black women? That makes no sense for me not to express my love for black women when black women pretty much have been a part of my life ever since I was a child. Why wouldn't I? I mean, it seems to me that black women are more family to me than I know this sounds weird, more family to me than white women in my family, my biological family. I feel more connected with black women. I really do. Black women in my everyday life at work. And, you know, I just feel comfortable around black women. I have love for black women. It's just their friendship's amazing. I just and you know what? Why
Mhm.
not tell that story? Why not,
Exactly.
why not tell the truth about yourself? When I talk about myself and my life, that's me, that's the truth. Some people find my truth creepy because it's odd for a white guy to say he loves black women like I do and express it over and over. Sometimes I get emotional with it. That's because I truly have love there. Um, that's not weird at all. That's how men should be. That's how people should be. You shouldn't hide who you love. Why would we do that?
That's right.
Uh,
Exactly.
I mean, why would we lie about ourselves? Why would I tell you that the reason I married my black wife is because I accidentally met her and we just connected? But I wasn't looking for black women. No, I was deliberately looking for black women to date. I was looking for a black woman to be my wife. I was deliberate in that. People say, "Well, that's not right. You shouldn't." No, it's actually right. You should do that. Go where your heart is. That's who you're going to love. That's who you're going to have passion for. Why would I just not do that? I don't know. Let me stop. I'll be talking all night. We'll be up here and 4 in the morning, and you'll hear me going round and round. But anyway, let me go ahead and close this. Sweet June, thank you so much, young lady. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Okay. All righty.
Alexander, brother, it's good talking to you. You take care of yourself. Pro white leadership, always good talking to you. In the chat, thank you guys. Happy Father's Day. Um, you know, show your father some love, your husband. Um, you know, it, having a father's a blessing. Okay. I wish everybody had a good, loving father that was there, but sadly, not everybody has that. And
Yeah.
say a prayer. And if the father's not in the home, make it about your mother on Father's Day. Show her love, tell her you love her, do something nice for her, take her to dinner, give her a gift.
Mhm.
Let um just because it says Father's Day, if the father's not there, give it to the mother. Okay.
There you go.
Or your grandparents might raise you. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Show them love. Family's important. Okay. And but I just want to say thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. uh Black women, I'll say this again and it feels good to say it. Black women, I love you. Okay. I do. You're amazing. I'll love you till I take my last breath. And then when I go in the heaven, I'll love you too. You're a big part of my life. You impacted my life like you don't even know. Okay. And you know what? black women, you're probably impacting a lot of people's lives. That's just how you are. That's the loving spirit you have. That's the big heart you have. That's the beauty that radiates from you. So, you know, put yourself first. Go for the best option, ladies. And but anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to go say goodnight. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. I might have a prayer meeting either tomorrow or Monday. I got to see what's going on. It'll
Okay.
be one of the two. It's not set in stone. I don't know what time. I got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. Probably won't be tomorrow. I know I missed the last one because I fractured my foot. I really need to have a prayer meeting. I need to honor God and do that. But I'll do that, and you know, and maybe do a live Monday night. We'll see. Um, but anyway, guys, thank you so much. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Um, have a good night.
Okay. Good night, Brent.
Good
All right,
night.
good night, bro.
Good night. I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the panel. Thank you in the chat. Um, thank you so much for your love and all the kind words. Um, you know, as long as I can do this, I will. Um, I love YouTube and I love connecting with you guys. Um, and I love sharing my stories. But I'm going to have to get some rest. And you guys have a good Father's Day. Have a good weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.